underway here at Moorabbin, the final game of 1985. The Saints trying to win their first game here at Linton Street for the season. They're hosting the Bulldogs as Purser tries to soccer it forward. The Bulldogs kicking the Nepean Highway in the first turn. Joffa Cunningham crashes through as is his want, and Gary Hodges with the first kick of the game. It's a scrubby ball out towards centre wing under the big scoreboard. And Peter Foster's handball that straight over the line, but I reckon he was caught high in the process. And it's going to be a Bulldogs free kick. It looks like Michael Ford will take it out of centre wing. Bruce Eager and Mark Fine with you. Appreciate your company on this breezy final Saturday in August before the 1985 finals. As the long kick down the line sees Fashini and Beasley come together shoulder to shoulder, and the ball is out of bounds about 45 around from Footscray's goal. Of course, Fitzroy heading to a qualifying final next week. The Saints, their third wooden spoon in a row, just 2 hours away. But can they finish the season with a bang? As Lally Bambler picks up the ball, weaves through some traffic. Is he caught high by Beanie Bennett? He has a quick shot at goal. Has he missed the lot, or is it a behind? I think it is out of bounds on the full, and Robert Mace to take the resultant free kick, or was it touched over the line? As I say, a very good afternoon to Mark Fine.
That's a controversial pocket for a boundary umpire to tangle with Robert Mace, but he got away with it. No calm there. We should say the quality of the video will improve markedly. I think they're already there. Here's a chance of Bahaja. He's been a good pick-up by the Dogs. That kick would have gone all of 3 metres, but to Royal, I'll tell you what, they're going forward in very small increments. Top of the goal square, Beasley has a slap. Put away the free kick to Mace. The referee bobs up very well. Clears it to Morwood, and Paul Morwood, I was going to say, really runs straight. He almost, well, that is Paul Morwood. Missed his target. And diving on the ball there for the Saints, of course, Cunningham gets the flick out to Hodges, and Greaser with the handball to Burns, some reliable Ballarat boys to put St.Kilda out of defence. And I tell you what, not bad play by Phil Cronin, maybe in the back of his opponent there, Ford. Narkle, good work by Narkle. I tell you what, the umpire should have brought a whistle to the game, Bruce, because there were 2 or 3 frees, none of them paid, and Hinton to throw the ball up.
Purser wins the tap. Ground very heavy in certain parts here at Linton Street. There's a Fitzroy free kick being kicked out. We'll go to Doug Hawkins. Handballs to his good mate Stevie Wallace. Bumped as he kicked it. The good meterage, and Bahaja, who started brightly, takes the mark in part of that soft position of the ground. And the little worm burner of a pass, and Jim Sewell, good agility for a big fella. He takes the mark low to the turf. He's seen something in the pocket he likes. Wallace has floated forward, and he takes the mark 25 out, despite the late attention from Andrew Jobling, and he'll line up on a tight angle in front of the grandstand here at Moorabbin.
He's only a pup, Jobling, isn't he, Bruce? But you have to go with Wallace then, and boy, have a look at the ground. Wallace will be wading through some mud. On better going. The shot at goal, not bad, but it's going to be a tough day to kick goals, Bruce. The wind is going to play havoc here at Moorabbin, and maybe, just maybe, the ill winds that are blowing for St.Kilda this year might go the other direction. Could they get their only win at the season? Of the season, it was very amazing that they haven't got any points out of their game so far.
Mace with the long kick in. He was looking for Cowie. Malin on the end of it received it with Purser starting that chain. Handball to Brian Royal. He has a flying shot at goal across the face. And the first 2 scores of the afternoon. Footscray behind, kicking to the Nepean Highway end. Robert Mace again to kick in. Again, he's going to favour the outer side of these breezy conditions. That's a good kick as well. Andrew Manning has had a fine debut season. Drops the mark, and we're in the old lace-up style jumper, and the ball trickles out of bounds between wing and half full.
Mumbles, fumbles, so it's Cowie in the ruck, and he's been able to get it down. The South Australian gets it to Burns. Good conditions for Greg Burns. Back to Cowie, the glass blower. Goes central, and I'll pay the mark to Cunningham, will they? They will. Probably fortunate. Quick handball to Hodges. Same name's been called out of the back line. He was farther afield to Roberts. Ford, maybe it is back, and I think that's Buckley. Mark Buckley actually played well, but missed the ball on the kick. You don't see that often. Low skill, and Bahaja, he was tackled and dispossessed. Cunningham, he's crafted a kick into the centre of the ground. Paul Morwood picks it up, does a semicircle, and kicks it forward for the Saints.
And Cronin takes the mark. Great body work. Just a bit too strong there for Captain Callett. Little chip pass over the top, and Gary Hodges has floated forward and taken the mark 25 metres out. Slight angle, kicking into the breeze. And this would be a very handy one for the Saints if they could kick one against the flow of play. Gary Hodges, who has been a fine servant for the Saints in recent years, charging out of the back pocket as brave as they come. Just redoing up the laces on the right Adidas football boot.
Bruce, I think he'd get dressed before he took the field of play, but he gets that squeeze up.
I'm still impressed with the way you described that Cunningham kick. He crafted that left foot kick. Now he allows for the breeze. It's swinging back, and that is a perfect start for St Kilda. Gary Hodges with the first goal of the afternoon. St Kilda 1 straight 6. The Footscray 2 behinds, soon to be known as the Western Bulldogs. And all the action coming to you from Moorabbin. Round 22, 1985. The St Kilda trying to win their first game of the season on their home patch.
You'd say local knowledge there by Hodges, but he's had so many shots of goals in his career that he's missed. I'll put it down to good fortune. Moorabbin from the centre bounce gets a handball to no one, well actually Phil Bowen, and getting now forward of the play is Jim Edmund, but gee, that's good play by Trevor Barker. He's had an injury-interrupted season, but when he's on the ball, things generally go the Saints' way. Fashini kicks it to the centre wing, and Manning this time sure hands. Not bad transfer play by St Kilda. The kicking short, but Cunningham gets the free kick for too high, and just forward a wing, he takes the ball.
Joffa kicks down the line, looking for his great mate Greg Burns, punched away by their former teammate Mark Kellett.
I was going to say great mate Mark Buckley. I didn't know he was all that friendly with Mark, but Burns chipped him.
Yeah, late addition to the St Kilda squad in the second half of this year. St Kilda with the clearance. It's a high up and under in the Cronin direction. It looks like he's trying to play a defensive half-forward tagging role in the superstar. It's Brad Hardy, one of the favourites for the Brownlow medal. Hardy wins the free kick and in the long sleeves. He kicks the time.
That's a good mark. Great mark. Wow, that's a great mark by Narkle. The helmeted West Australian is going to take a 15-metre penalty for his troubles as well. Angels fear the tread. Very courageous mark. Getting a bit of advice from John Bennett now, because Bennett had a season at Fitzroy last year. So he has some knowledge of the opposition. Nice long kick by Narkle, but it's going to be rushed through for a behind. Hard to knock Purser off the ball when he's going for it. He'll take the kick. I think it's a resulting free kick. I don't think it was a point press.
No, against Greg Burns. Good kick out to Steve Wallace as well. Kicks the one-on-one. What a battle this is going to be. The Footscray captain Jimmy Edmund against the St Kilda captain Trevor Barker. And Barker with a very aggressive tackle wins the free kick for incorrect disposal, and he'll drive his team forward. Kicks towards left half forward on the social club. Oh, the big fly in that mark. Is that by Hodges again? What a start from Greaser Hodges.
That was a great mark. He's got a goal on the board, and now one of the contenders of mark of the day. Deep in the forward pocket, Peter Brown, the Baronian, gets it to Cronin, whose kick, well, if there's any kids out there in their first season of junior football, you get castigated for that by mum and dad and the coach. 3 metres, out of bounds on the full. No, apparently was smothered. Lockett takes the ruck duty for St Kilda. Quickly to Bowie, a snap, and it's way off target. Gee, I hope he has a son that can play football, Brett.
Well, that's great psychic powers, because it's Andrew Manning. Brett Bowers still a few years away, but that's okay. Neil Pearce going on centre wing.
Oh, you're right.
Out of bounds on the full. Danny Frawley, the young fullback for the Saints, will take the resultant free kick. Frawley long and strong down the line. Cowie's the target. Interesting contest there with Neil Peart. Johnny Bennett's got it. Frees the arms and handballs back to Cowie. He started okay. Chips the pass in for Cunningham, who slips on the outer side of the boundary line. The ball was already out of bounds on the full and magically clean to take the resultant free kick. Not a bad crowd in today, Finey.
Well, one last chance, and Kilda has of winning a game at Moorabbin this year, and this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Tough ass though against a team, the Bulldogs, have won 11 of the last 12 games. Lally Bambit on the spin, puts it down to Beasley. He comes into this with 92. Will he be the second Bulldog to kick 100 in a season? And can he do it at Moorabbin? Out of bounds in the forward pocket for the Doggers.
He'd be doing well to kick 8 goals today in these conditions, but of course they have a finals campaign ahead of them, at least 2 finals for the Bulldogs. Backhander there, the tap from Bennett. Wallace runs under it, almost tackled, but freed the arms of the handball to Peart. His kick's batted down. Falls to Purser in the bog at centre half forward. Kicks across goal, on the bounce to Edmund. Barker gets chased. Edmund kicks on the non-preferred left. Beasley, no fall of the big spoil. Royal at the back, should be an open goal, and he slams it home. No, he's missed. He's missed from 6 or 7 metres out. A man of Brian Royal's skill. What a shocking miss. And the Bulldogs are frittering away some opportunities early. They're 3 behinds. The Saints, 1 straight 6.
Gee, brave man, the goal umpire. He's hit Mace in the head with the flag, and Robert Mace is the sort of bloke that might even up later on in the day. Just quickly, Bruce Mace, forward or back. He's playing defensively this afternoon, but he's kicked goals in the forward spot as well.
Most famously, Barry Byrne's 300th game here at Moorabbin against Fitzroy.
That's right.
Back in 1982 when he kicked 7. But he's a true utility, isn't he?
He certainly is, and tough as nails. Half-forward flank for the Doggies. Purser and Cowie. Cowie's made a bit of fist of lucky against the West Australian so far. Bennett, the ball smothered. He's had a bit of an early for Sheedy. He kicks around the body. It is scrubby, and it is finally, inevitably, in the hands of Steve Wallace. Someone's got to pick him up. Bruce says he puts the Doggies deep into attack.
Yeah, and at the back, the mark's dropped there by Bahadur. I think he was as surprised as anyone that it floated over the contest, and he dropped the chest mark right in that boggy patch just outside the Bulldogs goal square.
There are a few of them, aren't there?
There are a few of them at Linton Street, as we've come to know over the years. From the restart, Edmund can't control it first time. Centre and kick on the left on his second attempt. Moore plays for the free kick against Malin. Malin fights on. Gee, this will be a spectacular goal. And as you can tell from the fans rejoicing in the miss from Phil Malin, the dual premiership Carlton player, now at the Bulldogs. He's missed also. Footscray now 4 behinds, kicking with the breeze. St.Kilda 1 straight 6.
They're hot favourites to win the game, Footscray, but you won't win it if you don't kick majors. Purser, he's had a great start to the game. He's been a great play for the Doggies. He picks it up on the half-forward flank. Dances on a dime. Not bad for a big man, but the kick again makes it very hard for the forwards. And Crawley, he'll love these conditions. It's got Bungaree written all over it. Gets it to centre wing. Oh, good play there by Ford running through. He kicks the ball deep into the forward line. Will Mace concede a point? No need. He gets it out. Morgan's going to be under pressure here. Hawkins the man to knock the ball backwards. Here's a chance for Malin. Plays for a free kick. Gets it. Lucky. Malin too far out to score, Bruce.
12 and a half minutes into the opening term. Bulldogs wasting their chances with the breeze so far. Still searching for their first goal. Malin to the hot spot at the back. And blitz. It is on the corner. I reckon it was touched off the boot by Fashini anyway. He was always taking the wrong arc, and yet another minor score. Footscray now 5 behinds as we approach the 13-minute mark of the opening term. St Kilda, that Gary Hodges goal into the breeze, worth its weight in gold. It's the Saints by a point.
Gee, there's an irony in Hodges being one of the 6 players to have a shot at goal and being the one to kick it. Cowie, Mark Pade, lucky, gets the handball to Roberts. He's played for Victoria, Michael Roberts. Form this season not so great. Kicks it to centre wing to an old mate of his. Teammate, not anymore. Mark Kellett putting the Doggies into attack. Through centre half forward. Beasley, flat hands, brings the ball to ground. Takes it himself. The handball back will favour Crawley. Gee, that was a timid attempt to spoil by Beasley. Hodges has been good. He knocks it down. Oh, tell you what, when Hawkins is there, inevitably the ball goes the Doggies' way. Back to centre half forward. Is it in the back to Bennett? Umpire says no. Bahadur, he's deep in mud. Picked up by Roberts. Handballs astray. And now Royal the opportunity. He seizes it. Does he? Bruce? No.
No, he was looking for Neil Pert. Bahadur in there again. Another handball out wide. Purser shrugs off one tackle. Handballs to Magic McLean. Snaps across his body. Bulldogs inside forward 50 yet again. But still can't find the goal. And the umpire's seen enough. As Jim Edmund looks longingly up at the umpire, hoping for a free kick. Instead, there's going to be a throw up again, only about 20 metres out from Footscray's goal. Nepean Highway end here at Linton Street, favoured by a very strong breeze, but they still haven't kicked the goal 14 minutes into the opening term, and there's going to be more work for the field umpire to do. Tony Bryant and Wayne Hinton, the 2 men in white today in charge.
Wayne Hinton, 30 metres out directly in front, not a player, but the umpire, he says he's going to throw it up. Have some guts, Wayne, bounce it. That would be, of course, like planting seeds from potato farm. Taken out of the ruck there by Purser. Good tackle. See, that might have been a throw against Burns. Umpire says pay on. Chance for Royal. Is this the first goal for the Doggies? No. Lucky to be a point. Sneaks in. I tell you what, Robert Mace, he's had plenty of kicking in practice. He's going to get a lot of kicks today if they don't straighten up. Scores a level, Bruce. Very different weights. St Kilda 1 goal. Footscray 6 behinds.
Mace goes long and strong into the outer side. Cunningham tries to take the juggling mark. Manning goes to ground and he was pushed. That's why I went to ground. They play advantage. Joffa streaks away and then measures the pass. No, what's happening here? I think it's going to be coming back. No advantage paid. And we'll come back to the youngster Andrew Manning, one of a couple of teenagers the Saints have got in their side today. And it's a missed the He's lancing on the chest of Phil Martin.
There's no Eli Payton. I'll tell you what, there's a chance now for Malin. He kicks it straight up to Beasley. Good spoil by Frawley. Beasley. Oh, gee. Now he raised his spoil there, but the umpire's found a free kick to St.Kilda. Timely, and Fashini the man. Deep in defence. Not a position you normally associate with the former Swan. He kicks it long and strong to Peter Brown. The lack of contest will tell you that it has to come back for a 15-metre penalty. Fashini, always a good player when playing, but shoulders have limited his impact at St.Kilda. Hawkins goes off the ground, but Narkin gets a free kick. While the whistle blowing now, St.Kilda the beneficiaries.
Phil Narkin, who he's got used to it. He's had to get used to these types of conditions since coming across from Perth at the start of 1984. Long down the line now, he's paid that mark to Steve Wallace, which gets up to hold it, not sniff it, but that's okay.
Maybe the umpire wants to buy a used car.
Yes, good point. Handballs to Malin, long kick in the Peart direction, and he's been paid the mark as well. So, again, a decision which has raised the ire of many in the St Kilda members, and this is the wing that the Bulldogs are attacking down. He kicks long to full forward over the head of Beasley, jobbling to clear for the Saints to the outer side. One-on-one here between two stars of the competition, Cunningham and McLean. And Joffa Cunningham wins the battle on this occasion. Dribbles a kick down the ground. We've gained about 20 metres. I'm not sure about that tactic there by Manning, kicking it back towards Footscray's goal. McLean now gets it. Cunningham tackles him aggressively. Ball falls to Manning, and the Saints will finally go forward.
The kick goes into the St Kilda forward line. Roberts roving at the back of the pack. Read it well. Here's a chance for the Saints. They can really make the Doggies pay if they kick another goal. But Roberts has kicked. No score, misses everything. Kennedy, the handball. First game since round 13 for Rick. An important inclusion ahead of the finals to Foster. What a great defensive pair there. Pert. I call him Pert because he wants to use it in his hair. It was beautifully puffed. On centre wing, Manning. Is he in the back of his opponent? He was, and it is the aforementioned well-plucked Neil Pert to kick the Doggies forward.
And he kicks the centre half forward. A big mark there by Jimmy Sewell. Terrific grab, in fact, in these conditions. Lovely centering ball to running Wallace. Didn't have to break stride. Kick from the best part of the turf, and he has sprayed it as well. It does give Footscray the lead, but it's 7 shots or 7 scores to 1, and the Bulldogs lead by just a point. There's 7 behinds. St Kilda 1 straight 6. Mace has given up. His legs probably sore. Frawley doing the kicking in.
And Hawkins on the wing where he belongs. Handball to Bahaja. Bahaja's had a good start. Lively forward. Mace goes back with the flight of the ball. All he gets is 2 big men coming the other way. Is he rewarded with the free? Look, the umpire's picked it out to Beasley against Frawley. I wonder if that is umpire Bryant, who has a pulse shot for Bulldogs forwards against St Kilda. I take you back to 1978 and the day that he and Templeton kicked 15-9 against St Kilda, one of the great tandem acts in football history. Now Beasley, 92 goals for the season. Earlier this year, against the Saints, kept goalless. So
people saw we build a bridge and get over it regarding that goal. Footscray 7 years ago.
Why not? From side on, I always thought this man looked like the Elephant Man, and he kicks like a mule, straight through the middle. I think Beasley was on a point through at St Kilda before he actually made it to the Doggies. So, of course, St Kilda failing to praise the dog.
Yep. And Bulldogs have finally got their first. It's taken them 19 minutes with these threes, which must be worth at least 2 or 3 goals. They'll go forward again. Magic McLean coming in off the wing. Sewell's taken the mark. He's played on. Is this 2 in 30 seconds? I reckon it is. And Footscray go bang bang. And all of a sudden they've got a 13-point lead. 2-7-19. St Kilda 1 straight 6. And Jimmy Sewell, another West Australian. Well, you'd think they like the dry, sandy conditions, but he has started very, very well. And he's given the Bulldogs a handy buffer, now starting to capitalise on their dominance.
So that was a quick second goal. I mean, after the labours to get the first, like cricket, I guess, you can be in for 100, 2 for 100. So St Kilda will be looking to reply the ruck domination that Bulldogs we thought they'd have with Purser in the ruck. Hasn't the thing trying to get, but that was a good hit out. Put them going forward. Bamblett, he's so creative. Sidestepped one opponent. Tackled high, fair call. Almost got him on. Ongers has started well. And now Bamblett from Lemnos in country Victoria New Shepparton. Again looking for Beasley. The man at the fourth proceeding, using his pace and loving time in the back pocket. He goes with the right foot to, well, just forward to centre. Big young Lockett was able to get a spoiling. Peter Brown, a poor kick, and it is Foster with a handball as good as a kick to Perth.
And here in level space, he kicks it towards Beasley again. He's going to be the target for most of their forward thrust today. Punched away by Frawley. Like a good little man. Bahaja front and centre. Dodging, weaving and kicking straight to Johnny Bennett, who's only about 7 metres away. Bennett again has to kick on his non-preferred right. Gains pretty good yardage into the breeze though, but it's coming straight back. The mark taken by Peter Foster and the star centre half back. Thumps it to left half forward. Mace there against Sewell, giving away centimetres and kilos. But Mace wins the day. And then a cute little kick round the corner. Well, too cute in fact. But a chance for Rogers, who's been one of the Saints' best in his opening turn. Wild handball looking for Bennett. And the ball trickles over the boundary line as we approach the 21.5-minute mark. We're just under the time clock over on the outer side here at Lincoln Street. And the scoreboard showing Footscray 2-7-19, St Kilda 1 straight 6.
Bennett doing the work in the ruck for St Kilda, not Andy, but John, giving away interest to Peart and the ball back out of bounds. A question for you when we've got the next break for a goal. I'll try and remember it. Peart, the tackle on Ongers, seemed to be fair, down by my call ball. Bruce, it's muddy, it's tough, and St Kilda are in for the fight. The Dogs have got a final next week. It's going to take a lot of intestinal fortitude for them to go hell for leather, knowing what's just around the corner, no matter what.
The Dogs can't go up and down. They are in second. They can't catch Essendon on top, and they play either Hawthorn or Carlton next week in a qualifying final. As the ball has worked its way around the Red Sea. Tony Lockett hasn't seen much of it so far. He's going to do a bit of ruck work here. A young spearhead. Playing his last game as a teenager, he turned 20 just before the start of the 1986 season.
Well, that was a flying boot there by person. There are 2 ways of missing the final. One is through injury, the other one's through suspension.
And young Lockett didn't like that either. Purser might be a bit taller than him.
You know what he said to Purser?
He's reported, in fact,
he has taken his number.
Here at Moorabbin.
He has taken the number of the ruckman. Now that is big news in a game that we just said might not have hold a lot of importance for the Dogs. They've just made it far more relevant than they would have liked. Morwood is the man who received that flying boot. He's standing there getting his number plate checked by the umpire. He's going to put the mouth guard back in, and he seems perplexed whenever he has the ball for a moment. Scratches his head, not quite sure what he's going to do with it. Try a circle. No, he's going to go and kick it forwards. And he does just that, all the 25 metres to Big Lockett. What a pair of hands this young kid has. He's an absolute beauty. The kick goes wide to the wing. 2 Saints, do they get in each other's way? Jobling says to Morwood, leave it to me. Kicks into the man on the mark, picks up his own mistake. A big kick forward. And Brad Harden takes a mark, but I tell you what, it could be a free kick to Cowie. No, it goes the other way. I would have thought Foster had more to gain by bringing those 2 down. And lucky, Peter Foster getting that beautiful handball though, Bruce.
Out to Magic McLean, so often the link player for the Bulldogs. Long left foot kick to centre off Paul Moore. Fine mark. He's been a wonderful contributor for the Saints in his 3 seasons here. Will he still be at St Kilda next year? Handballs to Burns, who almost has the kick taken off his boot by Bahaja. Lacks a fortune for Greg Burns. But then he dribbles a kick straight to Purser at centre half back for Footscray. Wobbles a kick into the centre. Edmund, strong hands. Takes a great mark in front of Barker and swings onto his left foot.
Beautiful kick too. One of the rare kicks so far in this game to hit the target. And Brian Roy, what a player this young Footscray star is. And he's really impressed since breaking into AFL ranks. Long way out. Heavy legs sorely through the mud, but he gives it a crack. The ball deep into the forward line, doesn't make the distance and not through. Forward behind by Fashini. He's happy to add to Footscray's inaccurate total. Now 2-8-20, and the margin starting to creep as St Kilda only 1 straight 6 Odgers, the goal kicker for St Kilda. The ball goes to the half forward flank and half back flank for the Saints as Bennett has the ball and he gets it to Mickey Roberts, who gives it a right foot. And what a mark by Norwood. I tell you what, you praise him and he's now living up to it.
Yeah, left foot kicking ball on the bounce to Burns. Spins around to get onto his preferred right and drives at the centre half forward. Cowley's on Buckley. Third in line, good mark. Handballs to Tony Lockett. Open goal. South Road end and he misses. Tugs the kick to the left. He allowed too much for the breeze, the young spearhead. And it is St Kilda's first miss of the afternoon. They're 1-1-7. Footscray, well, they've done plenty of missing. 2-8-20. We're deep into this first term. Almost 26 minutes has elapsed. Footscray kicking with a healthy breeze. They lead by 13 points.
Forward to the agent man McLean and he goes to centre wing. One-on-one battle here. Hawkins and Narkle, both skilled practitioners. The stronger man wins out. Brad Hardy the handball. Back to Narkle. He was there to clean up after the spoil of Hawkins. And a good kick too. And gee, that was a good kick to Burns and trademark Greg Burns. Strong body, one hand. Looks for a short pass. Is it successful? It's a clever one to Buckley. And the ex-Carlton man can put St Kilda within 7 points. I'll tell you what, when Lockett was running with the goal piece, Manning was running with him and saying something. What on earth could Andrew Manning say to Tony Lockett as he's running with the goal?
Well, if he was asking for the handball receive, I think it's the right decision, even though he missed for young Lockett to kick the ball himself. And,
maybe Manning was asking for the autograph. I didn't see the pen. Buckley's kick is atrocious. There's no other way to describe it. It sneaks in for a point. And Michael Ford. A couple of forwards out for Bulldogs and, well, not the sort of players you'd ever see play for St Kilda. But it's Michael Ford to kick the ball.
Well, you'll have to wait and see. It's a long kick down the centre at the back. Yes, good evening or good afternoon, good morning to Alistair Ford if you're tuning in as well. Kick the centre forward, Barker with courage as always. Affected the spoil and palmed into the park. Filthy full Cronin, who turns it over, kicks it straight to Kellett. Kellett thumps it back to full forward. Sewell sets himself. Can't mark Cronin. Good coming again. Oh, nice sidestep. He's going to sidestep again. Hardy almost takes it off his boot. Tumbles a punt to centre wing. Moore drops the mark and recovers best, but handballed straight to Kellett. The Saints have done that a bit today to their former teammate. Kicks towards Sewell, who drops the mark once more. Under pressure from Mace. He feeds it out to Brad Hardy. Left foot kick, keeps it low and kicks the goal. And in the blink of an eye, Footscray have added 3 late majors. And after labouring for a lot of this first term with inaccuracy, they've now jumped out to an 18-point lead, 3-8-26. St Kilda 1-8. And Brad Hardy, as he has done so often this year, don't mind that he's playing in the back pocket, sneaks forward and very dangerous around the goals.
Those are his pretty IQ shown in his first season. Players have been kicking the ball into the wind and giving it an absolute slaughter job, but very clever kick by the back pocket, showing all the other forwards on the ground up. Purser gets the ball down to Mayland. He's been a good inclusion with 2-time Carlton Premiership player. Flicks it out to Wallace. I tell you what, if Graham Jelly isn't saying who's on Wallace, then he's not the inquisitive person. The Wallace handball to Hardy and the kick. Joblin's had a good start, and Andrew Joblin, the youngster for St Kilda, looks inboard to Cronin, and Phil Cronin, West Australian, gets onto his left foot, kicks the ball to centre wing. Odgers, good contest at the spoil of the ball. It is Ford, and quite lively the big man kicks it forward for the Doggies.
And he looks for Bahaja. Nice spoil there by Joblin, and then dives on the footy. In fact, it was a 0-0 draw. They both had a piece of the Sharon, and the umpire calls for it. Not too long to go until quarter time siren blows here at Winton Street. Fitzroy with an 18-point lead, playing at the 20 kick. In fact, there is the siren. The quarter that went just a couple of ticks, more than 29 minutes. Footscray quarter time here at Linton Street. 3-8-26, leading St Kilda 1-8. Footscray lead by 18 points. Second quarter about to get underway. St Kilda kicking with the breeze here at Moorabbin, the final home and away game of 1985. And it's the Bulldogs who'll go forward first through Brian Royal. A wild kick out towards right half forward. Big coming together there between Malin and Narkle. At the back, McLean flips a handball forward and the Dogs will get it towards the forward pocket. Mace traps it rather than marks it. And then Grubbers a handball to Narkle, who gives it back to Mace to make it his problem. Hoofs it out of defence. Gains reasonable yardage. Hardy was interfered with in the marking contest. And Brad Hardy will take the free kick just short of right half forward for the Dogs. He kicks to the leader, Beasley, just over his head. Lally Bamble at the back. Oh, great courage there by Mace diving in. Handball to Barker was he pushed. Umpire called play on. Odgers shovels it out to Fashini. Doing good work behind the ball. Goes straight down the middle. Look at the wind carry that. But Purser gets it at the back. Handball to Kellett and the Dogs will come again.
And they do so through the agency. I think with Piatt, that ball does cover some distance into the goal square. McPherson, we haven't seen him, and it's rushed through by Fashini. I tell you what, Bruce, the back line, Fashini, Barker, he's only playing his 7th game for the year. Free kick to Fashini, by the way. And Mace has stood up well. Maybe something for 86. That kick's almost going to the centre of the ground. Mark Kellett outmarks Morwood. He takes Morwood on. Morwood grabs him. Lucky to get a beat to it. The resultant short kick ends up with 4 at Cordy. Back to Cordy. And Bennett very carefully not into the back of his opponent. Third butter up for Cordy to Kellett. I tell you what, they're not going to send this one to the Americans. And it's Barker. Will he get the free? Maybe a bit lucky, but he put his body on the line and takes the resultant free kick and uses the win, Bruce.
Yes, he comes out to this member stand side. Cunningham drops the mark but recovers best. In fact, there's no ball. No, the mark was actually paid, was it? He stops and props. Joffa Cunningham kicks into the glue pot. High flyers need. He gets to the back of the contest. Peter Brown falls over. Purser shovels out a handball to Michael Ford. Socks down. Scrubbers a kick out wide to Hardy in the long sleeves. Opposite number 4 and Maud gives chase. Hardy spins away from him. Takes a bounce. Takes a second. Dashing play from the red-headed West Australian. And delivers to Beasley. What a terrific grab and terrific play by the second place Footscray.
Gee, well done by Beasley. Took the mark and cleaned up the spare as well.
And Hardy kept running and Beasley has floated the pass over the top and Brad Hardy has taken the mark on a tough angle, right forward pocket, kicking into the teeth of this breeze. This will take some kick. As Phil Cronin a bit lucky there not to get a 15-metre penalty against him for shoddy delivery of the ball back to Bradley Hardy.
Does answer the question, he throws as well as he kicks.
So, Brad Hardy, one of the favourites for this year's Charles Brownlow medal. To the South Road end. Drop punt on the way. It's not a bad... Oh, it's hit the post. Oh. What a great effort into the breeze. And it's the first score of the second quarter. 3 minutes in. Footscray 3-9-27. St Kilda 1-2-8.
Robert Mace to take the kick in with the anyhow have a win field sign behind him. A long kick. Good mark by Peter. I said what, he's had a good game. A short handball to Wallace once again on his own. Puts the doggies forward. Frawley misses what he should have taken, but Barker there to take the spill. Taken off the pet there. Was that? Couldn't have been Wallace again, could it?
I reckon it was Edmund.
Or was Jim Edmund, was it? But whoever it is, it's taken the doggies further ahead. It may well have been Edmund. I thought St Kilda was in control, but Bulldogs of that play. It is Jim Edmund. Footscray 4-9-33. St Kilda anchored on that early goal by Odgers. 2 more behind. 1-2-8, 25 points the difference, Bruce.
Yeah, and that's a valuable goal into the breeze. The Bulldogs frittered away a lot of chances in the first quarter, but comfortably in control now. Can the Saints respond? 25 points is the lead. Cowie and Purser go at it. Purser wins the tap and then butters up best, although he's tackled by Burns. And the umpire's seen enough. He says, give it to me. And he'll throw it up again in the middle of Linton Street. Purser wins it down to Royal, who missed his foot. Umpire calls play on Malin. Hacks a kick forward, but only as far as Barker. What a great battle this is. Edmund kicked the last goal, but Barker's more than broken even against his counterpart in terms of the skippers today. Kicks out towards centre wing. Picked up there by Peter Foster. Drives it to left half forward. Juggling mark by Johnny Bennett. Terrific mark. Mightn't have been paid. He's got to play on and again kick on his non-preferred right.
He kicks as far as Hawkins. Was he interfered with going back with the flow to the ball? St Kilda get away with it. Kellett on his left. He kicks it up to Bamblett, but he's outnumbered. And boy, oh boy. Trevor Barker, loved by the St Kilda faithful. He's not just an aerialist, a great tackler, and with a bit of meat on his frame, a very solid centre back. He goes to the true centre wing. Carry over the top. Hawkins reads it, runs back into the play. Oh, gee, lucky play there. Ducked it, got away with it, and the good kick to Edmund. What a battle that is with Barker. He's too far out to score into the breeze, and he's going to kick it short. Is he looking for Beasley? He is, and he finds him 25 metres out directly in front. I don't know where Frawley was, but Beasley picked out by Edmund, and this is starting to have a very familiar ring in 85 for St Kilda. the early fight gone, and we could see a margin of 31 points. Bruce, take the kick away with Simon Beasley going for, I think, 94 for the season.
Yeah, going for his second and Footscray's fifth in a row. 25 points the lead before the Beasley kick. Directly in front, and he's kicked it out to the right, or the Breeze took it out to the right, and another let off for the home side. 4-10-34 Footscray. St Kilda 1-8. Bearing in mind Gary Hodges kicked the opening goal of the game. Robert Mace this time goes with the drop punt. And again, look at the Breeze take it well and truly into the centre square. Off hands. Edmonds got it. Barker bats down the handball, but it fell to Hawkins. Hawkins with a handball to Kellett. Kellett shovels it straight to Cunningham. And he charges through the cricket pitch area at Moorabbin. And he drives towards full forward. Lockett! What a grab! Frontal pressure from Michael Ford, but the young star spearhead takes the grab in front of his eyes and will go back and line up for his first of the afternoon.
By Jose, is this kid promising? Attack on the ball, beautiful hands, and what a size he is for a full forward, mobile as well.
Still just 19 years of age. This today his 53rd game, 171 career goals already. Kicking to the grandstand or Nepean Highway end. Drop punt on the way, straight through the middle. Big Plugger's got his first, and the Saints get a badly needed one. 2-2-14. Footscray 4-10-34. The home side's deficit back to 20 points.
I'll say this about this young player, Lockett. The season started terribly for St Kilda, horrifically. 3 consecutive 100-point losses. But if the faithful just focus on what might lie ahead with that young man, then maybe the summer will not have that sense of foreboding for St Kilda fans. Normally, just after Santa comes down the chimney, it's countdown to another year of misery. But with that young Lockett, maybe a future. Cowie, he does well in the ruck. By fist, gets it forward. Picked up by Buckley to Narkle. He's a good user. To that man Lockett again. A juggling act. This time, unfortunately, he's beaten to the plate. And it's going to be Rick Kennedy to take it away. Kennedy to Cordy. Brian, does he keep it in? He does. That's surely a throw or dropping the ball. The umpire's happy for the boundary umpire to take over. St Kilda may be a little bit unlucky there, but in fairness, it is a tough ball to grab. Let's have a look at the ruck battle. Purser, the senior man, but Cowie does well. Which way? Surely there's not a free kick in that. Okay, couldn't see that.
Gee, there wasn't much in that.
Oh boy. Purser with the ball, kicks it forward for the Doggies.
Edmund the target, Barker goes the small man in front, Neil Peart. What a start to this game he has had, very prominent in the first quarter. Good strong mark there early in the second. Centering ball.
Oh,
McPherson almost had his head taken off by Juffa Cunningham, who fought on after it and got it to Bennett. High kick towards centre wing. Another huge pack fly. Nathan Cowie's given away the free kick.
Now I've got to say that is a soft free kick. Purser felt the body contact, lunged forward. Look, he's been a great player, Purser. 3 seasons, hasn't missed a game for the Doggies. But on that occasion, it was the old 3-card trick, please.
And he certainly made sure the umpire wasn't going to miss it. Andrew Purser, Dogs number 1 ruckman to centre half foot. Another huge pack flies. And is that another mark to Super McPherson on this stage? Steve McPherson had a very quiet opening term. In fact, I think he spent a fair bit of time on the bench. Now, what's happened here? Is it a relay free kick? No, he's got to kick it towards Bamblett. Almost brought it to ground. Fashini with the spoil. Hardy with the snap. And Hardy, across the face. In fact, he's missed the lot.
Wow.
That wind playing havoc.
That reminds me of a kick Barry Breen had many years ago that ended up where the ball is now, out on the full, but it crossed the goal line and was paid a goal. Wind down that end at the South Road end can be treacherous. Peart playing a great game. Almost marks uncontested. Too far out to score, so he looks for Beasley. Beasley edged under the ball well by Frawley. Now Bamblett, dangerous, but Fashini smarter. Picks the ball up, goes straight, direct football. Looking for and missing Buckley. The ball's covered a lot of ground because of the wind. Kicked off the ground, looks like a Cordy. No, it's a Ford. They do go in pairs. Surprised Noah's not the coach. And it ends up, well, if that's a mark, we should have played league football. Cowie on centre wing. Handball to no one in particular. I'll tell you what, Steve Wallace is a hard man, and Michael Roberts is going to wear that into November.
That was a big bump. Roberts still down. Play goes on. grabbed there. Neil Peart's got his own football out there at the moment. Centering ball, mark taken, no, not taken there by Bamblett. St Kilda defence again under siege. Fashini wrapped up in the tackle by Edmund, no prior opportunity. And umpire Bryant says, I will throw it up. 30 to 35 out from the Footscray goal, directly in front at the South Road end. Footscray leading by 20 points, and we're 11 minutes into the second term. Ball spiked out wide, Cronin overruns it. Grabbed by Hardy, confronted by Hodges, ducks away from that player. Handballs to the stationary Malin, off a step, kicks the full forward. Beasley and Frawley, Mace goes to ground. Saints need to get it through. Edmund might have got a boot on it, but still went the wrong side of the stick. And yet another minor score. 15 scores to 4, Finey. 4-11-35 Footscray, St Kilda 2-2-14.
Bennett kicks the ball to himself, gets some extra yardage, and goes a long kick. Forward of centre now, dead centre. That's not going to come out of the glue pot. We know that, and so does the umpire. I've got to say this, that Brad Hardy's class is there and evident, and boy, in these conditions, it could make all the difference. Right in the centre of the ground, Purser the actor versus Cowie. It's knocked forward by Morwood to no particular player. Joblin, his attack on the ball was good. Now Narkle, maybe that's St Kilda's class. He's wearing his summer hat today. He kicks the ball up forward. The bounce is tricky. Everybody misses it. And finally, Cordy gets on one knee. He's not praying. He's in fact clearing the ball, and on centre wing, it is Stevie Wallace. Gee, he's got a hard body, Steve. And I remember when he shirt fronted Barker some years back. The man's fair but hard.
And on that occasion, he'd be disappointed with his kick because he centred it, and he's picked out Paul Morwood, who gets a 15-metre penalty as well. Now he's going to kick long and strong in the Lockett direction. Can the big fella set his up? Oh, Lockett, what a beauty! A good old-fashioned screamer went as high as the grandstand, and he's pulled down an enormous mark directly in front, 25 metres out. Marked fine. What a talent this man is.
Wow. You look at a frame like that and you just can't believe the spring in it off a muddy surface. Bruce, I'll give you the honours because that deserves a goal. Let's hope he goes back and kick it. That's all class.
Well, he's already kicked one in this second term, directly in front. Regulation drop punt, and Lockett misses. He kicks it.
You know what? That mark was that good. St Kilda's not going to avoid the wooden spoon, but that'll almost satiate their fans for a whole summer. Now, it's Sewell with the ball deep in defence. He's waving players on. You'll be doing well to kick at 35 metres, Jimmy. And he kicks at 34. The ball's out to Hawkins, and there's no Hawkins wing here at Moorabbin, but I tell you what, put him on that outer wing, and before long that's what it would be called. He's a beautiful user of the ball normally, and he finds his man, Royal, short. So often do they combine. Hodges on the mark, just back of centre is Royal. He's going to try and find another man by foot, Malin. This time it bounces, so pressure on the doggies. Hawkins, the clean-up job. Gets it to the half-forward flank. In front, Barker, surely a free. Yes. Oh, it's a great battle, Barker, here, Edmund, isn't it?
It's the best one-on-one duel on the ground at the moment. Barker centering kick. Cunningham dropped the mark but recovers. Tackled. Ball spilt free. Bit lucky not to be penalised there. Joffa Cunningham. Cronin with the crumbs. Charges across the cricket pitches. Kicks in the Lockett direction again. And sticky fingers. Not as spectacular as his last grab, but Tony Lockett has marked directly in front. Probably 10 metres further out. We'll have to kick this about 30 to 35. Tricky breeze to try and bring the Saints back within 14 points.
How good is this kid in a team that has struggled to be competitive? He's kicked north of 70 goals this year. This is the future for St Kilda, and I'm sure he'll learn from that previous kick. Lockett goes back. It splits the middle. The goal umpire, an easy job. Straight through, number 2 for Lockett, and all of a sudden St Kilda, the margin 14 points. It doesn't look insurmountable. Bruce, maybe, just maybe, the duck egg at Moorabbin could go.
Well, it's the 20th year or 21st season since St Kilda moved from the Junction Oval. 1965, the first year here at Linton Street. Good crowd in, as you can see in the background. Yeah. And if they lose today, it'll be the first time in their history the Saints haven't won a home game here at Moorabbin. There's still 14 points in arrears, but kicking with the breeze, and we're 15 minutes into the second quarter. From the restart on, Mace overruns it. McPherson goes without it because Peart, who's in a on a hot lap in racing parlance, grabs the footy, handballs wildly towards centre half forward. Narkle having a good few minutes. He battles on after it. Purser fell over the top of him. Barker tackles. It's eventually the umpire's seen enough, but there was no place for the faint-hearted there, and we'll have a throw up centre half forward for Footscray, who lead at 35-21.
Purser and Cowie. Cowie's done a good job. Maitland sharks it to McLean. Normally class from Magic. Kicks it deep forward. Bamblet. He's got the run of the ball, but Ogges takes it. Oh, sorry, it's Drummling takes him out. He stacks on the mill. Jimmy Edmund into the back of Danny Frawley and resists the temptation and give him one to go on with, which is part of the Edmund makeup. He's still got an opportunity to do so. 15 metres, so he did something. Frawley kicks the ball forward of centre for the Saints. Now, who's up there? Mark Buckley spoils at the fall of the ball. Take good play by Burns. Took no precedence, gets the ball with him, but ends up in a patch of land that he would not be unfamiliar with. Very Snake Valley-like, and it's going to be a ball up. I'll tell you what, if this was a racetrack, Bruce, we wouldn't see the first race of the quaddie. They'd call it off.
Yeah, it's a heavy 10 plus. Mind you, back then, I'm not sure that we use that form of identification of how heavy the running surface was. Cowie with the palm down. Might have been Sewell or Kellett socketed out a midair. Morwood, who's having a very good afternoon, takes the mark. Is that going to be a 15-metre penalty? It is. So, on centre wing, Paul Morwood. He kicks out in the Lockett direction, and why not? This time he's the stepper. Manning's claiming the mark, and I reckon he's going to be paid. Mumbles Manning with the smallest pair of shorts on the ground. And this teenager, very talented in 19 games this year, is going to line up and try and bring the Saints back within single figures. The deficit, 14 points before the kick.
Is he wearing shorts?
Barely. Andrew Manning only took a couple of paces. Drop punt is a goal! And the Saints have kicked 3 in a row. 2 to Lockett and now 1 to Manning. So the teenagers all getting involved. And St Kilda 4-3-27. Footscray 4-11-35. The deficit back to just 8 points. And we're 18 minutes into the second term. St Kilda still with about 10 minutes with the breeze.
Yeah, there's profit to be taken here. The win certainly, score-wise, all down one end of the ground, the south end of the ground, and I tell you what, not the South Road end, St Kilda could go in with a lead at half-time. Purser, did he drop it? Yes, Michael Roberts was able to strip the ball, and the illegal disposal means Roberts handballs to a stationary, might have been Jobling, I'm not sure that was the right choice. Backpack Corny, Kellett, umpire says free kick to Kellett. David Grant, the youngster from Tasmania, the infringer, and Kellett. Well, at his time at St Kilda, this might have been the hardest part of the game for him. The disposal. Let's see what he does here. The ungainly style. Kicks it out to centre wing and finds his man. Well done. Peart. He's everywhere. How many Pearts have they got, Bruce?
Well, he's playing like a star at the moment. He handballs to McLean. McLean handballs to Royal in space. And in the best part of the going as well. But has there been, I reckon, an illegal shepherd back here? Because all of a sudden Brian Royal was in space and there were St Kilda players sprawled everywhere. Narkle was caught high with the illegal shepherd, and a bit of luck there for the Saints because Royal was off to the races. Narkle kicks in the Burns direction, and has he been edged out of it? No, he's bumped into Wallace illegally, and Steve Wallace will take the free kick for Footscray out in front of the time clock, which shows we've almost hit 20 minutes in the second term.
Dead centre wing, Kellett again. I'll tell you what, looking at the hoardings here, if you don't drink or smoke cigarettes, it's wasted on you. The kick by Kellett, half forward flank. Barker, one hand, beautifully read off the peck there by Mace and McPherson. McPherson wins out. He's going to have a shot from an impossible angle, and he kicks it. What a goal, McPherson! Boy, well read off the pack for starters. Barker's one-handed attempt was sharked by McPherson, and he withstood the pressure from Mace, which is saying something. Great goal by McPherson. I tell you what, the first quarter was scrappy. The second quarter has a handful of highlights worthy of a game given far bigger billing than this one.
Yeah, it's second versus 12th. Super by name and super by effort. That was a wonderfully threaded goal there by Steve McPherson. Tight angle into the breeze. And it restores a 14-point lead for Footscray. Purser wins the tap, it straight to Burns. Left foot kick, as he so often does. He's non-preferred out to left half forward. Mark Buckley shows courage as he crashes the pack front on. Charging away there is Suchi. Ran a long way. Umpire let him go. Fortunate bounce for Royal. He kicks on his non-preferred left as well for Sheeny. Good mark in front of Bamblett, and he's winning that duel as well. Knows all the tricks of playing as a small forward to Silvio Fascini, who goes the barrel, and he pumps it towards centre half forward.
Great play by Burns. He's a strong man, takes the mark, going back on the flight. He sizes the opportunity to kick the ball to Lockett. But the two Ballarat boys not on the same page there. It goes out of bounds in the forward pocket. Bruce, I know, and we've said that the Doggies might be holding something in reserve, but they've won 11 and 12. They don't want to mix their form. And I'd say that this would start to be concerning for the coach Malthouse, because they're heading into the finals and they're struggling to beat the ungainly Saints.
Yeah, well, we know early in his career, Mick Malthouse, he is a hard taskmaster. Looks like a long coaching career is ahead of him as he's got him.
Oh, that's not Peart again, is it?
It is, and he thankfully runs out of room as Joffa Cunningham tumbles the ball over the boundary line in front of the animal enclosure mark.
How many state games did Peart play? How many Brownlows did he win? Because he's having a good afternoon at Moorabbin. Dead centre wing. Advice from the animal enclosure would have been directed at the umpires. Malin, the former Blue, great spoil by Barker, but picked up by Wallace. Who is on Wallace? No one. Frawley, good spoil, makes it hard for Beasley. Dives on it, courageous! Got kicked in the head and umpire pays a trip. His anatomy's not right, but the free kick is correct, and Frawley is in some sort of discomfort. Wow. Yeah, interesting. Thought he tripped him. No, he got kicked in the head, my friend. I'll tell you, Narkle's an interesting play. We talk about Lockett being a future for St Kilda. A definite ray of hope with Narkle in that he has class.
A definite A grader, came across from WA for 1984, big reputation.
Big helmet.
Yeah, big helmet. Took a while to get used to the heavy conditions, but this is not good news for the young star defender. Also in his second season, Danny Frawley groggily gets to his feet.
Wow.
Wants to stay on. Gee, at first they signalled maybe for
that's good. Well done, young man. Now, he's going to have to bring it back. Narkle wanted that ball ever since Frawley got kicked in the head. But you see the leadership of Barker there. Hasn't that been this year? Now he's allowed to handball to Roberts, the inferior option normally with the boot. But this time it's a decent kick. He goes long. Buckley in front of the pack. Hawkins one way then the other. Does he get a free kick? No, he's penalised for holding the ball. I think that's a bit stiff. He might have copped a clip to the ankles. And it's going to be John Bennett, who probably wasn't the player who deserved it. But still, he kicks the ball high. Not handsome. It's Bulldogs in front. At the drop of the ball, Burns, brilliant roving. Now can Manning do something here? He can. He keeps the ball in the forward line. Good pressure. Wow! Is that not a free to Burns? Simply thrown out of the way by Rick Kennedy. Taking no precedence, Kennedy. He doesn't get a lot of the ball, but he does get a lot of the opponent. Gee, that was good ruck work by the two St Kilda players who knocked each other out for no reason. And it's cleared by the Doggies out of bounds. Messy football, Bruce.
A very messy mark. And in fact, well, maybe in years to come, a kick like that by Kellett might be pinged for deliberate out of bounds, but not here in late 1985. So St Kilda fighting hard, but still trailing by 14 points late in the second term. Purser wins the tap. Down to Bahaju, who's been a lot quieter in this second term. Handball then to, was it Bamblett or Hawkins? It was hard to pick up as we just have a couple of technical issues with our picture at the moment. Morwood's got it on centre wing. Big turning circle. There's a rarity. He takes a bounce. He takes a second.
A two-handed bounce. Reminds me of under 12s.
And then he lets loose with a long raking drop punt to centre half forward. Burns front and centre. Good crumbing. Interesting left-hand handball to Narkle. Kicks on his non-preferred left. And as he found Lockett, he just couldn't quite hang on. Kennedy applying the pressure, and the ball is out of bounds 30 metres around from the St Kilda goal. Footscray 5-11-41, St Kilda 4-3-27, almost 25 minutes into the second quarter.
Purser and Buckley to contest a ridiculous contest with Buckley winning. That was 100-1. Odgers on the ball. Will he get a free kick? No. Burns has been the lift for St Kilda this quarter with Narkle and Lockett, and they were involved in that last piece of play. Back to normal transmission. Purser beats Buckley for the hit out, gets it to Bamblett. He's creative. I'll tell you what, when his body's right, he's a good footballer. Goes to centre wing and finds his man, Steve Wallace, who's on nobody. McLean running rampant. Another good footballer with skills. Edmund at the back of the pack. Did he mark it? No. Knocks it on. Morwood being shepherded by Bennett, and he should be able to clear. Go forward, Paul. It handballs to Bennett. He does now. He loves a roost, Bennett, doesn't he? He kicks it high. And at the full of balls, St Kilda's got the numbers this quarter, Bruce.
They have Roberts. He hooks it across his body. Kennedy leads out and doesn't elect to mark, just spikes it towards the boundary line. It trickles. Hardy looking for the boundary line, playing for the free kick, and he'll get it as well. Free kick again against young David Grant. And interesting that Johnny Bennett being used in defence in this last couple of weeks of the season. Of course, made his name as a sometimes spectacular key forward as the high kick goes towards centre wing. Burns at ground level. Always interesting to see what the buck rat is going to do. This time it doesn't come out of the congestion. Roberts last one up with it, and we'll have another throw up on this outer side.
I'll have to throw up if Buckley's going for the ball. Throw-ins again, and he got beaten comfortably by Pezza. They've got to do something. Bahaja, quiet this quarter. Was that dropping the ball? Umpire says no. McLean swings it forward. The ball's not travelling that end of the ground, so the St Kilda defence, in numbers, clears it. Jobling, looking for a partner in crime. It is Barker, but the handball's poor. Barker makes it good. Handballs to Moore. St Kilda on the run here. What a kick. Looks a fortune, as they say. Drops into the hands of young Grant. And he's a good kick normally, David Grant. Now let's see what he does with the wind. He's a chance to put St Kilda within 8 points of the second place Bulldogs. Remember, the Doggies have won 11 of the last 12. Only Essendon, the top team, has knocked them off. The kick by Grant. He is a good kick, Bruce. Straight through the high diddle. And he said it's quite a good crowd. It is, obviously, happy with St Kilda making an impression. Around the 14 to 15,000 mark, and David Grant, another one of this plethora of young players that the Saints are bringing through, both hand-picked or hand-selected through their junior development program, but also, of course, young Grant from Launceston in Tasmania's north. And a fine young player, and that was an excellent kick to bring the Saints back within 8 points, close to half-time. It's been a good fight back, though, from the home side, from the restart. Can they pinch another late one? Odgers wins a free kick for being held. Swings the ball out to this member's side. Just overkicked it a little, didn't give Cunningham a chance at it. Cronin tries to control it like a basketball. Ford picks it up. Left foot kick, gains only about 30 metres, close to the boundary line. Peart has had a big first half. He's swung, or he's tackled as he tries to swing around with the handball. Sails over the boundary line in front of the Social Club. And 28 minutes into the second quarter, we'll have a boundary throw-in just before the patrons head back into the Sinners and Halos room for something refreshing to go with a party pie at the main change final. It's usually a drink that clears the problems that are on the ground. Peart again gets the knockout. Fashini runs it out of bounds. Have a look at this game. You've got Kellett, you've got Ford, Michael Ford, you've got the likes of Bennett. There's too much business between these two clubs. They should have written in their constitutions not to deal with each other. Burns, handball intercepted by Bamblett. Bennett over the top of it. He's been good, but that time he wasn't able to get the ball anywhere. And it's going to be a free kick to Robert Mates. Sometimes known as Ace, sometimes known as Orbit, but always known as Tough. Gets it to Odgers. He's had a heck of a game. Odgers goes the direct route, and he's looking for and not finding a teammate. In fact, Jim Sewell should be paid the mark, and is. An umpire called play on, which is incorrect. Needs a rule book. The ball goes out to the half-forward flank. Edmund, rare couple of yards, and Barker, he's a brilliant tackle. The 2 yards, no good for Edmund. A free kick, and they love him, and that's why, Brucey.
And that is right on the siren. Terrific stuff from Trevor Barker to end that second quarter.
5-11 to 5-3. Wayne Hinton, gee, focusing on the ball. You're only throwing it up, mate. And he does just that. Purser uses the height advantage, gets it down to Royal, going back with the float of the ball. I'll tell you what, Barker again, the beautiful spoil on Edmund. I'm enjoying that contest. The 229s went for it. Cordy and Odgers, and the St Kilda man, who's had a good game, comes up trumps. He looks for Morwood. Morwood, dead centre wing. Now, will he find a teammate? He props it forward to Cronin, and Filthy Phil with the lace up, the West Australian. What's he going to do with the ball? He kicks it to centre half forward. Is there a St Kilda player there? The answer is no. It's punched out of bounds. Peter Foster happened to see it go out of bounds, and it's about 35 metres around from the St Kilda goal. They're kicking into the breeze, only 8 points down against the second place Doggies.
So the Bulldogs in a qualifying final next week. The Saints about to accept begrudgingly their third wooden spoon in a row. Big half coming up here though. Morwood, who's been one of St Kilda's best. Handballs out to Gary Odgers, who probably has been the Saints' best. He controls it, swings back onto his left foot. Centering ball to centre half forward. Burns the target. Hung up in the breeze. Magic McLean dropped the mark, but he recovered best and then swung a long left foot kick almost to centre half forward. This Barker-Edmund battle continues. Barker wins again. Little handball to Joblin. Cute pass to Hodges. He's got the ball on the string out there, Gary Hodges. Kicks to centre half forward. Was there some holding? Buckley, he hasn't had many possessions, but by gee, he's created a contest. Most times he's flown.
Really?
And forces a stoppage.
You know, Bruce, when I heard St Kilda were getting Buckley from Carlton, the eyes lit up. And then they gave us Fitzpatrick. Unfortunately, we were getting the wrong Buckley and the wrong Fitzpatrick. The ball's still centre half forward for St Kilda. Malin and Roberts. And it's going to be thrown up by Bright, the umpire. Purser, too tall, gets it down to Malin. Hardy, he'll use it well. The long sleeve Hardy gets it out to Wallace. I'm not going to ask it anymore. If Johnny doesn't care, why should I? Wallace goes to centre half forward. Beasley in front. Great spoil by Frawley. Straight to Joblin. Now that's good defence. And running out of the back line and bouncing it like he's never played footy. Joblin gets it to Hodges. Hodges to Cunningham. A couple of pigeons and seagulls all looking there and very calm with Grant. Becalmed. Good kick by Grant too. That's why they were becalmed, Bruce.
Finds Michael Roberts. Roberts swings onto that trusty left boot. Kicks in the Lockett direction. And Lockett has outpointed Rick Kennedy again. The much more experienced Bulldog has been shown up on several occasions this afternoon. Didn't see much of it in the first quarter, big plugger, but he's lining up for number 3 and to bring the Saints back within 2 points.
I wonder what's going through Rick Kennedy's mind. The senior man is being taught.
Well, he might tell his grandkids one day that he played on Tony Lockett early in his career, still just 19 years of age. Drop punt is a miss.
I reckon, you know what his grandkids will say when he says, I played on Lockett? They'll say, big deal. Our dad, Captain Richmond, to 3 flags.
Well, there you go. 5-4-34 the Saints. Lockett has kicked 2 goals too. Footscray 5-11-41, 3.5 into the third.
Cordy kicks it in and falls over. It's hard for a Cordy to do 2 things at once, and the ball goes to the centre of the ground. Malin, he's been good, Malin. He dodges one, dodges another, and cops a high fend from Manning. The umpire calls play on. It's an interesting interpretation by that umpire. He's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen in the other. Good play by Kellett. Handballs to Hardy, runs forward to centre. He's looking to use it maybe too neatly. See, Hodges has played well. Chips in, gets it to Barker. I'm calling the same names in the St Kilda defence. The doggies forwards are going to have to stand up. Cordy there, this time Neil Cordy. Can't beat 3 Saints. Cunningham gets away with the ball and chisels it out to Roberts. Mickey Roberts, son of the great Neil Roberts. He'll be a Sainter for life, Mickey. Kicks it to Buckley. That was better play. Handballs to Burns. Buckley, good physical play on Foster. In fact, that's good physical play all round, and the umpire will come in and throw it up.
So the Saints doing well into the breeze. They've already wiped 5 minutes of playing time off the clock. The Bulldogs lead just 7 points. It is a healthy, more than a healthy Zephyr going down to the Nepean Highway end of the ground, which the Dogs are kicking with in this third quarter. They tumble a punt along the line and it rolls out before Robert Mace can collect it. So boundary throw-in out of centre wing where the bulk of the play has been today. Final home and away game of 1985. Second playing 12th, but you wouldn't know it on the scoreboard at the moment. The Saints taking it right up to their more fancied opponents. Hodges, a rare mistake, overruns it. Steve Wallace almost run down by David Grant, and it affected the kick. It went about 7 metres. The mark was paid to Cowie, who handballs to Mace, and he's going to pump it out wide, and Manning takes the chest mark right on the chalk.
His kick is in field, not a bad one. Must be a free kick on mark to Hodges. The 229s went up. Cordy and Hodges, but it was Hodges. See, a lot of the Saints wearing the lace-ups. And Gary Hodges, this is as good a game as I've seen him play for a while. He's been a good servant for St Kilda. Unfortunately, most of his work has been defensive, the nature of the game Saints have been playing. Another lace-up lad marks it, the West Australian Cronin. Now, Phil Cronin is a determined chap, often let down by his kicking. Let's see what he does here. It's a short pass to Narkle. Clever move. The better practitioner. Still too far out to score into the wind, I would think. But I could be wrong. He might be able to get some purchase on the ball. No, he's kicked it too high, Bruce. You see, when you kick it up that high, it hangs in the wind and easily dealt with by Malin. He thumps it out. Back pocket for the doggies. The 4 and 20 pies sign ringing, screaming to me. saying, have lunch, mate.
So from the throw-in, Purser wings it down. They haven't cleared the area yet. Royal, well tackled by Narkle.
Oh, it's
And in
Narkle.
fact, incorrect disposal. Free kick to Phil Narkle, well within range. And, decent bit of turf. He's not mucking around, Phil Narkle. He wants to take the quick kick quickly and slams it into the woodwork to the near side about halfway up. And the Saints peppering a bit here at the moment into the breeze. They've snuck or drawn within a goal. 5-5-35 St Kilda. 5-11-41 Footscray.
Well done, Cordy. You kicked in without falling over. It clears half forward and almost makes it to the centre. Bennett stripped of the ball by Pitt. Mace in and under. That's where he likes to be. Mickey Roberts kicks it. Narkle, he's having an impression. Now, Manning takes on Purser. Takes on another doggy. This time he's dispossessed by Foster. Too much Manning. It was always going to be a free. And Buckley getting physical with Foster. I think I know he's going to win it. And Peter Foster with the ball. Fozzie kicks it to centre wing. G. Fitzroy let a good one go there. Edmund rides his own teammate. Leads it from Ace. He's had a decent game. Bouncing the ball. Fraught with danger and poorly executed. Allows old teammate Kellan in. Now what does old mate do? Kicks it around the body. And kill it like it'll go out of bounds, Bruce.
Well, he's played a pretty good game today, mate.
He has. No, he has. But I guess you get a bit jaded in the 80s with the Saints.
So the Dogs by a goal. 6 behinds to be completely accurate. Throw in, and it's a shallow one. Pitt and Cowie, and they'll be doing it all again. I don't think Edmund in play. He was charging towards goal if the adjudication had been in his favour, but boundary umpire right on the spot says we'll do it all again.
Straight signed that cafe bar. I thought they were free.
That's you'll have to tell me more on that later. Malin's handball to Wallace. St Kilda intercept. Burns streaks off half back. Kicks the centre half forward. David Grant surely was interfered with front on there by Brian Cordy. No, young man, you have to go back behind your mark.
Well, this umpire is open to negotiation normally.
So Greg still hasn't gone back over his mark, and now Tony Bryant arrives and says, well, he said go back over your mark. He didn't say you have to go back another 20 metres. He kicks it closer from centre wing, young David Grant. The Lockett direction!
Oh, play the mark, yes he does.
And Lockett's got it again directly in front. This will take a very good kick into the breeze to the South Road end. Tony Lockett, who has outmarked Rick Kennedy on countless occasions in the last quarter and a half, or quarter and 9 minutes. We are 9 minutes into the third term. And big plug up, 2 goals 2 out of St Kilda's 5 goals 5, is lining up, believe it or not, Finey, to level the scores. The crowd will tell you. Lockett on the runway. Driving drop punt. Just fades on the trajectory at the last second. And another minor score. 5-6-36 St Kilda. 5-11-41 the finals bound Footscray.
I'll tell you what, neither of us old enough to remember Bill Moore, who kicked 101 for the Saints back in the 30s. But I'll tell you what,
36.
I'll tell you what, he might be joined one day by Tony Lockett. What a game he's having. Kellett, you're right, has had a good game. Goes to handball to Royal. It puts him under pressure. Narkle's had a great quarter. And it's McLean to streak away, and that's good usage. He finds the versatile Sewell, who seems to be playing at that end of the ground. It's the Sewell end of the ground, we'll call it. Can he kick it? The wind will help him. The West Australian. Nope. He swings it across, gives an opportunity for somebody up there. Bamblett, the surprise flyer. Now, try to be not free by Jobling. In the end, it is almost rugby league-like. A point there for the Bulldogs. Compliments of Frawley. And once again, Mace loves a kick in, Bruce.
Good to see the blue coat starting to collect the snow, as it's known, that's being thrown out onto the ground there from the St Kilda cheer squad, probably from the likes of Paul Collins and his mates there in the Saints cheer squad. The ball is at half forward for the Bulldogs, and they're coming forward again. Malin with a handball to Hawkins, and the classy Hawkins delivers it lace out onto the chest of Brad Hardy, who will go back and line up from a long way out with the breeze over his shoulder, and this super talented West Australian can double the Dogs' lead. 6 points the margin before the Hardy kick. Going for his second. Long, strong and through. And the visitors out to a 12-point lead. Brad Hardy with 2 of the Dogs' 6 goals, and they move to 6-12-48. St Kilda 5-6-36, and we're about 11 minutes into the third quarter here at Lytton Street.
You know, Bruce, Doug Hawkins is a better player than he's shown today. He hasn't had a lot of the ball, but he's played a number of years, over 100 games for the Doggies, and with the finals, his first final a week away, you could almost forgive him for just a little self-preservation. Maybe that's what we're seeing with him. Certainly not with some other dogs, McLean included. Gets it to Foster, always resolute. Kicks the ball forward now. Hardy again. This time spoiled by Burrs. Jobbling the man running after it. Ungainly. Kicks it off the ground. He's going to chase after his own ball, but have a look at McLean. There's a clean pair of heels. Super skilled. The Northern Territorian up to Frawley and Beasley. Rode by Saul in an unlikely roll. Swings it around. One behind. I wonder if that'll come back to haunt the Doggies, because they go on to 6-13. Lead St Kilda 5-6. That's a 13-point margin. And I'll say this, 19 scoring shots to 9 should yield more than that margin, Bruce.
Even 19 scores to 11 final.
Yeah, well, the maths were never good. That's why, of course, I'm here calling football and not doing your tax return.
Johnny Bennett's got it at centre half back for the Saints. Kicks there in the direction of Manning. Kellett leads in the race for the footy. Bennett followed up after his kick. No clean possession though. And McLean chips in again. Touches the footy on the ground. What a player he is. Magic McLean. Ducks away. Kicks in the Sewell direction. The spoil might have been from Jobbling, I think. Peart grabs it. Not as prominent in this third quarter, but a good right foot kick to the top of the square. Floats over the head of Beasley and Frawley. Spud Frawley keeps it in front of him. Beasley gives chase. Frawley gathers, looking for the boundary line. A backman's friend. Can he get it over? No. Bamblett's got it. Bamblett back to Beasley. Oh, this would be cruel for the Saints. Beasley with a flying shot at goal. He's hooked the kick. And it's another minor score. 6-14-50 now. Footscray, St Kilda 5-6-36.
You know, there's no justice in football. The pressure that Beasley put on Frawley then, it wouldn't have broken the skin off a pudding. Yet, he stayed back, got the handball from Bamblett and had the shot at goal. Hawkins goes to the mark, spoiled by Grant. It's near the boundary. Cowie, he's put in a good shift. Is the umpire going to ball it up or let the boundary umpire throw it in? It's sort of a demarcation. It's an argument here. The field umpire says, actually, that's mine. The boundary umpire steps back, and that can be fought over at the union meeting after the game. Cowie gets the hit out to Morgan, who gets a free kick for no idea. If you're on a Cowie, that makes even less sense.
Cowie takes it quickly, looking for Cunningham, who didn't take the mark, but was in best position to read the ball. Gee, just bit off a little more than he could chew then, Joffrey Cunningham. Lucky to get away with it as he handballed it out of bounds. And we'll have a throw in. Still in the bright sunshine. Beautiful conditions, centre of the universe. Moorabbin, as the Saints trying to win their first game on home turf. And this is the 1985 season. There's a Footscray free kick, a ruck infringement, and Purser will take it, and he'll take it quickly.
He gives the ball a torpedo travel. St Kilda's got the numbers at the fall of the ball. David Grant starting to have an impression on the game. Swings out on the left foot. Kellett, he's played well. Manning outmarked. Now Wallace, again, running rampant. Kicks the ball forward and Saul easily marks his opponent, jobbling hands on head. But really not much he could do. No pressure on Wallace, and the resultant kick pinpoint. Now, will Frawley continue to stymie the efforts of Beasley? I don't think Beasley likes the close attention that he's getting from Frawley. Sewell kicks it long and strong, and Bennett makes sure that it's not a goal, it is a point. Gee, they've got a lot of those. They don't know it's out of bounds. What a strange.
A free kick to Frawley.
A free kick to Frawley. It's odd. Some of the rules here are being improvised, I feel. Nevertheless, Frawley goes short. Dangerous in the back line. Dropped by Ogers. The umpire sort of negotiated with Ogers and lets him kick it to who's on Wallace.
Steve Wallace. Off a step. Pumps it back from whence it goes. Oh, three Saints spoil each other. Jobbling at the back. Can he save the day? Ogers in there again. Throws it out. Umpire let him get away with that. That's a liberal interpretation of the rules at the moment.
Bruce, this game resembles football, but we've sort of lost the edge that we had in the second quarter. Let me just say that.
There hasn't been a lot of quality in this third term. Heavy conditions, and the umpire didn't let it go too long before calling for it again. It's deep in the Footscray forward line. They lead by 14 points. 16 minutes into the third quarter. The second place Dogs kicking with the breeze. Barker tries to dive in the footy. More work for the umpire to do. It's Tony Bryant and Wayne Hinton in charge today. And we'll have another throw up directly in front of the Footscray goal, about 30 to 35 metres out. Ruck work done there by John Bennett and also Jim Sewell, and it's a St Kilda free kick to Trevor Barker. I think he was caught high as he may have even been kicking in danger. And it's a free handball to Joffa Cunningham.
Yeah, on this afternoon, the head and the feet are interchangeable. The kick goes to centre wing, and Purser is paid the mark. Could be a 15-metre penalty, and it will be now. Purser runs the finances on the boat, and he's running the ruck at Moorabbin today. The ball goes forward. Bennett puts himself in prime position, denies Beasley. Beasley butters up well. It's an ungainly kick. Does it find a teammate? Well, only if he joins St Kilda in the off-season, because it's gone straight to Joblin. He's doing an admirable job. And interestingly, now, he and David Grant will end up working for Craig Harper. So they're working together in the back line, and their professional careers will cross paths, I believe, is a prediction. Burns on the wing, Bruce.
You've used that crystal ball well this afternoon, Finey.
For the little things.
Greg Burns kicks down the line looking for Michael Roberts. We get some advice from that Bulldogs fan only a couple of metres back from the fence. We're still waiting for the football to come back into the field of play. In fact, it was there in the gutter as the boundary umpire, maybe blinded by the sunshine here at Linton Street, was looking into the crowd. Maybe a call from a fan who recognised him from the local on a Friday night. From the restart, Cunningham and Foster go out. That was tough from both players. In fact, players dive in from all angles.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Which I don't mind.
Get a push and shove, and finally, again, we'll have a throw up.
Buckley he's going to excuse himself. Person will win the hit out. That must be hit out number 35. It's going close to the boundary. Foster trying to keep it in. The boundary umpire allows the play to go on. It is now forward of centre. Hardy, the free kick. Or you've got a feeling that Brad Hardy just knows how to ingratiate himself to umpires. I'll just say that at this stage. Beasley and Frawley. Frawley's got his number. Couldn't kick a goal on him at the corresponding game in round 11, and he's really struggled today as well. Kicked a couple. The ball just short of centre wing, intercept by Hawkins. Hasn't done a lot, but what he's done, always good. Now, Hawkins, that's a proper little kick, and he finds Malin. Phil Malin shields his eyes from the sun. Well, he's always been a real good contributor, Malin, and gee, Carlton, they sent certain players to St Kilda, but Malin to Footscray. Probably better off the Doggies than the Saints with some of those 40 marks in the last line. Gets it to Paul Morwood.
What a great mark by Danny Frawley. As Morwood kicks on his left foot, beautiful kick to Mace, but it's coming back. Now, what is the interpretation here? The crowd and players have been bewildered at times. I think Danny Frawley had to come back out from between the goals, rather between the goal and the point post. That's my
that's correct.
Interpretation on the run.
100% correct, but given the liberal interpretation of the rule book this afternoon, they probably could have let that slide. Maybe it's the last game of the season and they're
trying a few things, looking at
well, they're saying to the players, you know what, finish on a high note. Make your own rules up.
20 minutes into the third term, Danny Frawley. Another chip pass at Mrs. Mickey Roberts, who is happy to find the boundary line with Brad Hardy lurking and looming dangerously. Footscray by 14 points. 20 minutes into the third term, and the Bulldogs with the breeze.
Pete goes up with John Bennett, former. Well, I think they were teammates. I might have had the season together. Stacks on the mill. Umpire says, my ball. And David Grant, the man at the bottom of the pack. I like the way this umpire throws it up. He rolls it up. So it's a bit of a technique, and he's improving as the game goes on. Malin first there. Will he get a free kick? No, he wants another chance to practice. It's the roll. Watch this. I like Hinton's style as a thrower-upper.
Down the arm and then off the
ridges. Yeah, very nice. It's the old finger roll. Should play basketball. Bamblett. Well, he's got skill. I'll give him that. And that was great. To Cordy. That would have been one of them. And Hardy misses what he should have taken. You know the old saying, Bruce, if Brian Cordy doesn't get you, then Neil probably won't either.
So Brad Hardy clearly has been moved forward in this third quarter as well. He's been one of the few reliable avenues to goal for the Bulldogs. Just a slight technical glitch at the moment. We appreciate your company on this breezy afternoon at Linton Street. The final game of the year for the Saints. A first finals campaign in 9 years for Footscray, starting next week in a qualifying final against either Hawthorn or Carlton. And there's a late whistle. Oh, Frawley can't believe it. It's a free kick to Beasley.
Dear.
And Simon Beasley is going to line up on the slightest of angles, only about 20 metres out, to stretch this lead out to 20 points.
Let's see what he does with it. He's a good kick, Beasley. He's ungainly but effective. That's how you describe it. And with finals to come, he may become only the second Bulldog after Kelvin Templeton to top the ton. And Tony Bryant umpiring, it's almost a certainty. Now, Templeton.
Beasley.
Sorry, Beasley. Yes, well, I'll tell you what, the kick is...
He's missed.
The kick is neither Templeton or even Beasley like, because it was poor. And it's a point.
So he stays on 93 majors for the season.
Yes.
As the great man, John Beanie Bennett, shields his eyes from the sun.
I wonder why he went to the Bulldogs for a year.
Great to have him back. Of course, the star, last quarter star of St Kilda's first win of the season, the famous Anzac Day win over Fitzroy.
Famous.
Well, of course, St Kilda's only 2 wins this season have been against the Lions, both Anzac Day at Waverley and some 6 weeks ago at Victoria Park, both by single-figure margins.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, well, what does that say about Fitzroy? David Grant, the recipient of a chip kick. And look, St Kilda, if they eat up time this quarter, that's as good as probably anything they can do. The closer they are at 3/4 time of the breeze, the more chance they'll have of an unlikely win. Hawkins swings the ball back the doggies' way. Bennett competing manfully. Burns at the drop of the ball. He's as tough as old nails. I'll tell you one thing about Greg Burns. When he goes to the ball, you can be sure of one thing. His opponent will have one eye on him.
Will collect something. Lockett having a stint in the ruck. On the tap, Royal, was he held without it? He's still being held there by Cunningham. I think the free kick's actually been plucked out in the end to Greg Burns, who, like a good wine, has just got better as the day has unfolded. Of course, brilliant in 1984 last season, and he was Channel 7's Player of the Year.
Yes.
Kicked one of the goals of the year this year as well at Victoria Park. Well, that's not one of his kicks of the year. He set that out of bounds on the full. In fact, I'll take a stab and say that he will win the goal of the year for that bouncing run at Victoria Park 6 weeks ago, and he might win it on our friend the ABC.
Unfortunately, they don't give away cars, just compliments. Deep into the Bulldogs forward line. Lockett, the unlikely defender. Grant, he's had a good 3rd quarter. Again, Lockett, Burns. Oh, the Ballarat connection strong there. This time, it's more local to Barker, but again, the umpire's found something. Now, Bruce, at this point, I would say that the umpiring is starting to have a say in the game. And is it a free kick to Brad Hardy? No. Well, that's not
off the ball into it.
It is hard to assess what happened there. St Kilda seemed to be in the van, as they say. The man with the ball is that Tony Bahaja? Look, he's been quiet since quarter time, but this could make up for it. The little man, Tony Bahaja, the former Bomber, kicks a goal. Important goal for Bahaja. And all of a sudden, again, the elastic band is being stretched, Bruce. 7:15:57. St Kilda stuck on 5:6:36. That's 21 points. And despite the wind, St Kilda this year has not been a high-scoring team. They can't let it get any further than this.
No, the Dogs have kept the Saints in it, particularly in the first quarter with their inaccuracy. 22 scores to 11, so they doubled the scoring shots of the home side, but they lead by 2-9 now.
There's an incident.
Yeah, young David Grant, who usually is a pretty cool head. Certainly Brad Hardy's got under the skin of the youngster.
He would have said something, Brad.
There's no doubt about that. And,
it started with words and ended badly.
Now, Gary Hodges and Steve McPherson, there's a couple of tough hombres. They're looking to get involved in the fracas as well, which is settled down. There's Steve Byrne, another runner out there for the Saints, laying down the law to David Grant, delivering the messages from Graham Jelly. So
the Footscray runner dressed as though he was going to go flashing after the game, but still, that was the fashion in the day.
Finally back underway. Royal with the clearing kick. Mark almost taken there at centre half forward by Peart, who certainly hasn't been as prominent in this third quarter as he was in the first half. Cronin with the clearing kick for the Saints. The left-footed West Australian, straight up the chimney and straight back down it comes. McPherson dropped the chest mark. It allows Hodges in, who handballs to Roberts. Streams towards goals. In the shadows of the Social Club stand, the GG Huggins stand. He kicks it straight to his former teammate, and Callett saves the day for the Dogs again.
He swings it wide to Wallace, who has... no one on him. Wallace picks up the ball. He's too good a play to be left alone, Graham. I speak to Graham Jelly on this occasion. Good keeper, Harter. A nice mark. Dead centre wing. I tell you what, West Australians are sort of known as skillful players from dry conditions. St Kilda were able to get a different type of West Australian into the club during the 80s. The likes of Cronin and Greg Jones and... well, there were a few. Anyhow, they tried. Mace and McPherson, tough on tough. Who gets the nod? McPherson does.
In this era, a name springs to mind immediately, the best wet weather West Australian that came over around this time. Wayne Blackwell of Carlton.
Oh, I disagree. The best West Australian was Neil Winmar.
You know, yeah, but he hadn't arrived.
No, I'm saying but ever. He used to flood his front yard
to replicate the conditions of...
and then play against his sisters. Now, he was always going to beat them.
Yes.
But in the wet, he was particularly good against them.
Now, another free kick's been picked out here.
Oh, yeah. I think Brad Hardy's actually doing a bit of umpiring now, which is good.
Well, he is the Brownlow favourite, or one of the favourites.
He's got bigger flanks than Waverley. They do develop over the years, his thighs.
How will he go in the count in 3 and a bit weeks' time? As he's dropped punt from directly in front is a miss. Another bad miss. A very gettable shot from a player of his skill. 7-16-58 the Dogs. 5-6-36 the Saints.
They come over with some skill. Some of them. Moss came over and took the world by storm. Hardy likewise. He's got the ball again. He's starting to have a say in this game. Now what's Bahaja pointing at?
There's just West Australians everywhere at the moment.
They are of different types. There's a little Bahaja. There's Phil Cronin.
Angular.
And Chisel Jord, I guess you'd say. And then, of course, the best of lot, Brad Hardy. Now, what will Bahaja do from the boundary? It's a tough angle, but the kick is on its way. It won't make the distance. Goes out of bounds. I think the Saints' defence is held up well enough, but just now I'm getting the sense, Bruce, that skill might prevail.
Well, it's went 2-5 to 3 behinds finally in this third quarter. So again, the Dogs have wasted a number of chances to basically put themselves out of sight. Now, there's a St Kilda free kick here, which is met with a few ironical cheers from the grandstand, which Gary Hodges is in front of. Yeah, he's been a wonderful player today. Goes straight up the centre corridor, well-weighted pass to Jobling. Now comes the hard part. He's taken the mark, now the kick. And it's a good kick out to a contest. Buckley over the shoulder, says the umpire. So Mark Buckley...
He wants the ball, but I bet he does. Doesn't see it very often. Gets it to Cunningham. He's always on the move, Joffa. Now, the handball to Roberts. He swings onto the left boot. He kicks it deep. That's a great kick with the wind. Into the wind. Now, Fashini's claiming the goal. Andy Bennett on for St Kilda.
Hasn't spent much time on the ground.
I'll say this about Andy Bennett. He's saving himself. For what, I don't know. But that was a great kick by Roberts. Just fell short. I think it was the right decision. Streaming out of the back line, was that
Kennedy?
It was Kennedy. He doesn't often get the ball, but it was a beautiful kick. Handball backwards. McLean the skill, but this time there's a bit of trouble trapping the ball, but no opponent means he does it easily, Bruce.
And the kick is misdirected. Andrew Jobling, strong again, the youngster. And takes the mark right on the three-quarter time siren. So the Bulldogs, 7-16-58, lead St Kilda 5-7-37. A 21-point lead with a quarter to play at Moorabbin. 21-point deficit facing St Kilda, their final quarter of the season. Can they come home with a wet sail and win their first game of the year at Moorabbin? 58 plays 37, but it's the Dogs going first. Forward first. It was socket forward by Malin after I thought Royal dropped the football. No barracking in the commentary, they find him. Picked up by Jobling, who kicks towards centre wing. Ball punched away. Grabbed there by, looked like Andy Bennett. He kicks it towards the forward pocket. Lockett! He has taken the mark low to the turf under pressure from Rick Kennedy, and this will be a perfect start in the opening minute of the final term, with St Kilda coming home with the breeze at their backs and only 21 points in arrears.
Bruce, I know that mark in the second quarter was spectacular by Rocket, but for that young man to be able to reach down around his knees and catch that spiralling football was as skillful. Call the action here, because as you said, a goal at the start of the quarter opens up possibilities.
So athletic for a young man of 190 centimetres and close on 100 kilos. We're right behind the kick. The St Kilda cheer squad will be up if he kicks straight, and he does! A perfect start to the final term by the Saints. They kick their 6th goal inside the first 75 seconds, 6-7-43. Footscray 7-16-58.
His nickname's Plugger. That was his father's nickname, a legend in the Ballarat Football League. Well, by the time this kid's finished, he might be a legend in the big league. 15 points the difference. Bulldogs will be back next week for their first final in almost a decade, but for the Saints, it's now or never. And in the ruck, boy, Andy Bennett does well to Burns all of a sudden. St Kilda looking better. Kellett, the former Saint, with his left foot, goes for the boundary. Does he give it too much? No, just enough. And that's going to be thrown in. St Kilda attacking side of centre wing. Now, it's one thing to challenge. St Kilda this year have only been able to close the deal twice. Let's see what they do. The hit out by Mark Buckley is to no one in particular yardage though, and further around for the Saints.
So right half forward in the shadows of the big grandstand here at Lincoln Street. Mark Buckley does the ruck work against Purser, wins it down but straight to Royal. Under pressure, gets a left foot kick around the boundary line. Cunningham, a good spoil on Hawkins, who comes up hobbling as well. He's just grabbed at the right ankle, and that would be something that would fill the coach's box with dread with Mick Moldhouse and his assistants. Or assistant, probably singular.
Well, they've got a concern with Purser reported. Now, Burns, the handball. Buckley runs onto it, can't get the handle on it. Is that dropping the ball against Kennedy? The umpire says play on. Lockett strong, spins the handball there. Mickey Roberts gets it to Moore, but he's under siege. Was it too high? Umpire says play on. The whistle. Suddenly on vacation. Royal to centre wing, where it's taken by Foster. Bennett grabs him. It was Pearce holding the ball. Tough ball against Pearce, who had a great first half. Bennett, he likes the high kick. And tell you what, that's a doggies, and it is the big kick, and it's a stray. Kellett knocks it clear for the doggies.
And a chance here for Peter Brown. He's had a quiet day. Was he held it out? And he was. Free kick against Kennedy. He doesn't like the call. And young Peter Brown. This will really test him in the boggy conditions and a long way out with a tricky breeze. But St Kilda with the opening goal of the final term, they've crept within 15 points. We're only 4 minutes into the quarter. Peter Brown. And it's a mongrel punt. Lands at the top of the screen. No one flew against Andrew Purser. And the big Footscray ruckman takes the saving mark.
You can't blame Peter Brown. He was running for a rice paddy. I mean, how do you get your footing? Purser. Deep in defence for the doggies. St Kilda in front there. Andy Bennett, fresh legs. Goes to the back of the pack. Another from another ex-league club, I should say. Maud gets it, good kick to Bennett, goes one way then the other. Kicks it again, falls short. Kellett, the former St. or Foster. Here's a chance, and it's Robert Mace move forward. That's dropping the ball, fair call. And a good tackle by Maley. Gee, his experience has been invaluable this half. Right foot kick out to the halfback flank and almost running cover there. Allowed a good mark to Royal, on to Cordy, on to a teammate in Saul. Centre wing for the doggies.
Saul handballs to Royal, sells him into trouble. Good tackle by Greg Burns. And he wins a free kick. They're whistle happy again now, the umpires. And Greg Burns, true centre wing position.
They're sniffing something, the Saints. They're going in numbers.
Yeah, the momentum is all the red, white and black way at the moment. But they need to put goals on the board. They still trail by 2.5 kicks. Burns kicks the left half forward. Brian Cordy goes to the ground but tries to paddle it to McLean. Is he held without an umpire call play on? Mace grabbed it. Ball to boot very quickly, and his left foot shot is... Now, is it out of bounds on the floor or is it touched off the boot? There's going to be consultation here right in the Carberry-Carmen pocket. And
what's going on here? It'll be something you don't expect.
Is Robert Mace getting another kick? Was he dealt with illegally after he got rid of the football?
Well,
that looks to be the call. So Robert Mace Again, a really boggy patch of Moorabbin. Fair to say there's a lot of boggy patches here at this famous stadium. So Robert Mace, not a noted goal kicker, but on his day can find the major entrance. It's a high drop punt. It's long. It's through! Wow. And the Saints have the first two of the opening term. We're only final term. We're only 6 minutes in, and they're 7-7-49, and they've trimmed the deficit to 9 points. The Bulldogs still anchored on their three-quarter time score of 7-16-58.
You know what he did that Peter Brown did? Even Peter Brown's only a youngster. He was able to get his run up on at least a bit of level footing rather than going right through the cabbage. Bennett, good in the ruck. That's Andy beating Purser. Is that a free to Roberts? He's under the ball, gets it out to Narkle. As I said, numbers now in the red, white and black's advantage. Cronin one way than the other, confuses himself, falls over. In the hands of Cunningham, whose kick lets him down, and Malin, an important cog in defence. Handball to Hawkins. Handball to McLean. These are skillful men. Through the centre of Moorabbin goes McLean, coming with the ball. Bahaja unlucky not to get a free. A good tackle there by Barker though. Cleared for the Saints. A desperate kick. Oh, well judged there by Cunningham. That's a mark. Yes, it is. Royal, a bit of play acting. And it's... No? Oh, sure, he's not going to reverse it. The umpire could not be that impressionable. Oh, that's poor, Bruce.
Oh, that's an unbelievable and a very gutsy call right in front of the St Kilda Social Club as well. So Brian Royal, the recipient, he goes the underground pass looking for Sewell. No mark taken. Shadows lengthening here at Lincoln Street. Royal plays for the free kick again. In fact, Michael Roberts gets a free kick. What was that for, Finey?
Better acting. Roberts kicks the ball forward for the Saints. In defence though, McPherson outmarks Mace. They've had each other for company all day, and that's two tough men playing good tough football. Wallace has had plenty of it. Did he play on? Umpire says no, fair call. Narkle holds him up right on the back line of the centre square, which means he's probably 4 kicks from goal into the breeze. What's he going to do with it? He's normally a good user. Puts the big right slipper into it, the ball heading towards the boundary. I think Hardy, can he beat 4 men? Is he that good? Is he that good? He almost was. Out of bounds. It's a dead centre wing, Bruce, and I've just got a sense that St Kilda think they might break the duck here.
8 1/4 minutes into the final turn. Sewell wins the tap. He was caught high. It was an accidental knee by Brad Hardy. He didn't like the call. And Sewell's arguing the point as well. The umpire's not going to change his mind. It's a handball from Moore to Barker, who's got the socks down, which we don't see too often from St Trevor. Ball punched back into the path of Royal, who's been a thorn in the side of the St Kilda side all day. He takes a bounce. He drives it a goal. He slams it into the post. Another that post has been hit 2 or 3 times today. And that is Footscray's first score of his final term. 7-17-59. The 7-7-49 dangerous kick in for Bennett finds
Cronin. Now, he's deep in defence for St Kilda. Puts the boot into it, and that's probably the best move. A big pack, centre of the ground. Buckley, good, buttering up by the former Blue. Tries to get the handball out. That is stymied. Maitland's had a good start to this last quarter. Hawkins, he's interested now in the 4 points. The win. McPherson puts it forward. Beasley easily put off his game by Frawley. Not physical there by Beasley. Gives St Kilda the advantage. And it's David Grant. No, surely not. I'll tell you what, Brad Hardy has certainly, I don't know, you know what, skillful players get good results, but sometimes, just sometimes, they are deferred to when it seems to be a line ball decision. Brad Hardy, well, is that another good game? Could he win this year's Bradley? He could, I mean, he could really.
Well, will he be in the votes today? It'd be line ball, I guess, depends what happens over these last 20 minutes, and depends if he kicks this goal.
Long sleeve because of a childhood accident with fire. He kicks the ball beautifully. That's going to do his cause no harm. It's a goal, and a badly needed one for the Doggies. 8-17-65. St Kilda 7-7-49. And it just might be cometh the man, cometh the hour, win the game, win the whole lot. Win the Brownlow, because if they win, I've got a feeling Brad Hardy's the architect, Bruce.
And we're looking forward to seeing him in the 1985 final series. Gets underway next week. The Bulldogs with a qualifying final, but they've got to win this one first, although they know they can't move from second position on the ladder. Now, what's happened here? Malin's appealing for the free kick, but it's going the Saints' way. It's going to Michael Roberts.
Wow.
So no, in fact it's not. It's going to Greg Burns. Burns will take it and he'll go short and he finds Morwood, who plays on. His Bulldog opponent falls over. Morwood runs his full measure. Flying shot at, well, it wasn't a goal. It's the Odgers, who's marked in the right forward pocket. Tough angle, and Gary Odgers, who kicked the first goal of the afternoon. You need to get out of that slop breezer. Where he is looking for
he's looking for better ground. He's like a jockey.
So Gary Odgers, not mucking around. Drop punt on the way. It's across the face. And a minor score. 7-8-50 St Kilda. 8-17-65 Footscray. 11 and a half minutes into the final term. And finally, as they say in the classics, there's enough time for the Saints if they're good enough.
You know, 20 years ago at this ground, St Kilda in their first season had a couple of Tasmanians in, well, Baldock and Stewart. They've got a couple here in Bennett and Grant, and they've got important jobs to do this last quarter. Maybe unlikely heroes. Bahaja deals the ball out and gets to Malin again. Gee, you can't beat experience, and he's got it in spades, and Hardy's got another free kick. Well, we're getting a pattern here. Malin, Hardy, but St Kilda responding. Let's see what they do this time. A good spoil that time by Graham. Little Bahaja puts his beat in the ball. Saul's in the wagon here. Misses what he should have got. Comes to the back. Andy Bennett. I said he'd be important. And he teams up with the boundary umpire 40 metres around from the Footscray goal to knock it neutral. Andy Bennett had some time at Hawthorn from Tasmania. Probably not the career you'd expect from an athletic ruckman, but he gets it out of the ruck. Saul tackles him. Is that a free? Umpire says no. This is the umpire that likes throwing it up, Bruce.
And that's what is going to happen here. Official attendance just been posted, 14,236 at Lincoln Street on this final Saturday of August, the last home and away game of 1985. Andy Bennett wins the tap, but the old mate no one in particular. Fashini soccers it forward into the path of Joffa Cunningham, who kicks a long drop punt in the Buckley direction. Crashes the pack again. He's competed hard all day. Burns with the crumbs. Swings onto his left boot. Waits the pass, but that is a fine mark there by, is that Brian Cordy? It is.
That will be Michael.
Michael Ford. Michael Ford, my apologies.
Well, Mick Ford kicks the ball back, wets it, Kane, centre wing, but it floats out of bounds, and all of a sudden, that's surely on the foot. No, I thought that was on the foot. Maybe a streamer confused me, and it certainly confused Andy Bennett, who went back to take the kick. Saul and Bennett, West Australian and a Tasmanian, dueling it out in the suburbs of Melbourne. Dead centre wing, the ball comes to the back. Foster, left foot through the ball. Every yard important. Grant, where's the tackle? Did well. Good handball. Barker the clearing kick. Now St Kilda. Can they parlay this into a score? So all of a sudden, Ford's another impediment. Gets it to Purser. Back to Ford. Bulldogs looking assured they should be. They're second on the ladder, Bruce.
And the kick to centre wing though. Barker, as he held without it, he was. He made sure the umpire saw it. And Trevor Barker, the St Kilda captain, put the socks down. As we said earlier in the quarter, we don't often see that for the champion number one. He kicks a centering ball, manning at the fall of the ball, spins out of trouble, left foot kick, long and strong to full forward. Mark dropped by Kennedy. Now there's a whistle. There's a whistle.
Oh,
it's a St Kilda free kick. It's a St Kilda free kick to Lockett. Kennedy's obviously interfered with him in the marking contest.
Not that obvious, Bruce.
Young Tony Lockett will go back and line up for his fourth goal and to once more trim the deficit to just 9 points. We're 14 and a half minutes into the final term.
4th out of 8, Bruce, if you think so. That's how important he is to this team.
He's been very, very good again today, this teenager. He turned 20 a couple of weeks before the start of next season. Tony Lockett, directly in front, and he's got it. He's got his 4th, and he's got the Saints 8th. And Smokey Dawson, if you're listening, we've got our favourite score. 8-8-56. Brother. To 8-17-65. Footscray by 9 points. 15 minutes into the final term.
You know, a lot of eyebrows were raised when Mark Jackson was excused from the club after kicking 10 for this young man, but we know why. Bennett gets the tap down, but sharked by the experienced Malin. He's had a great quarter, so was Hardy. This time, he does it all on his own. No assistance from the umpire. Left foot snap. Oh, just offline. Wow. It almost is a shootout now between a star of the present and a star of the future, Hardy and Lockett. Who are the bit part players from either side that might drag their team to a win? John Bennett. He's going to give it an almighty hoof. and he almost gets to the centre. In fact, he does with a bounce. Kellett, the former Saints, hooks it out to McLean. He's chased by Narkle, but the wind grabs it. It goes careering into the Etihad, a Winfield sign. Shouldn't be advertising cigarettes, Brits. It's on dead centre wing.
16 minutes now into the final term. St Kilda have to find a minimum of 2 goals to pinch a win, their 3rd of the season. It won't get them off the bottom. It'll be their first at Moorabbin of the year. From the restart, Odgers can't control it, but paddles it into the path of Cunningham. Lateral kick out in favour there of Fashini. Doesn't get a kind bounce. Bambled all over the back of him. Fashini arches the back. Left foot kick around the corner. Bounces into open space. Picked up by Odgers. Here's the voice of Jobling and handballs it to him, who returns the favour. Odgers on the left foot. Scrubs a kick towards full forward. Kennedy keeps it in front of him like a good defender should. McPherson with the crumbs. Finally back to Kennedy. Charging out of defence. He kicks almost the centre half forward. Barker in front.
Great play.
And that is, well, the mark wasn't paid, but the arm chopper interference, and Trevor Barker drives it forward again.
I guess Bulldog supporters would be saying Barker gets plenty from the umps, and it would be a fair claim. Mainland, who's had a great quarter, is dumped unceremoniously by Cronin, and that affects the kick. It comes out to Jobling. Little dinky kick looking for Roberts, puts pressure on that player. Handball is sort of legitimate. Bennett tackled back to Roberts. It's an ungainly game of tennis between Roberts and Bennett. Who's going to get the ball? In the end, Cronin swings on his left. You're kidding! It's a goal! Cronin! Wow! An unlikely source. He's been okay. The snap was perfect, and all of a sudden, have a look at this. St Kilda at the 17.5-minute mark are within 4 points of the second place Doggies. It's last versus second. It's the last week of the finals, and St Kilda, there's always a sting in the tail. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, Bruce, but you never quite know with this club what's around the corner.
9-8 plays 8-18. St Kilda within a kick. Plenty of time left. From the restart, Bennett wins the tap, but it's grabbed by Hardy. He kicks a wobbly thing to centre half forward. Huge pack fly. I think it was Cowie with the punch forward. Peters really died out of the game after half time. Did he get a push in the back? He did. And Andrew Manning, the offender, ruefully stands on the mark. And momentarily the pressure eased on the Bulldogs, who are under siege. This second place side, this flag fancy. Peart kicks out wide. Dogs in numbers. Hawkins measures the pass at the bootlaces of Hart. Oh, what about the pick-up by Barker? Absolutely superb. Handball let him down a little. We don't say that too often. Hawkins goes again. Smashes it forward, but straight into the path of David Grant, the youngster. Well, he almost trips over the top of Hawkins. Ball taken off his boot. And eventually the umpire's seen enough. And there will be... I thought there'd be a throw-up. I'm not sure what Moore receives the free kick for, but the Saints gleefully accept it.
Puzzling, Narkle, he's been good in the second half. Swings onto the left, he sees a man out there. It's a pinpoint pass to Fashini. He plays on, grabbed by Cordy. Great work there by Neil Cordy. Umpire call play on, lucky. Cunningham, the long kick forward. He's success for Rikers! Goal! St Kilda's in front!
Unbelievable scenes at Moorabbin. The grandstand is rocking. Reeza Rogers has socked through a goal to put the Saints 2 points in front. Back in the centre. Oh, they're storming now. Burns charges through. Handball's out wide to Narkle. We're still trying to get our breath after that amazing Rogers goal. Roberts with the kick forward. It is all St Kilda at the moment. Mark dropped their note, was paid to McPherson.
I'll tell you what, men that didn't know they had it in them are suddenly potential match winners. Andy Bennett's been great in the ruck. Now, McPherson back to centre wing, and as I said, heroes everywhere. Is that a mark to Bennett? You bet it is. No, to Buckley. Even more surprising. Look, the effort's been there, but now the return. Buckley, left footer, kicks it sensibly down the line, wing to half forward flank, out of bounds. And this pairing of McPherson and Mace, there has not been a cigarette paper between them. Two tough men playing this great game the way it should be played. Kellett and Bennett in the ruck. Bennett wins. Andy Bennett, a big save this last quarter. Mace, the kick, it's yardage. It stops in the glue pot. Wow. Bruce, I can't believe it. St Kilda have not won a game. Look, they haven't beaten anybody but Fitzroy. They lead the second place Doggies. They've won 11 out of the last 12. It's deep in the St Kilda forward line.
5 goals 1 to 1 goal 2 so far in this final term. The Saints steaming home with the breeze at their backs. Is this going to be one of the upsets of the season? As the Dogs find the safety of the boundary line again. In fact, it's a free kick to Neil Cordy. And he'll take it defensive side of centre wing. The Dogs now need to find at least 1 goal into the breeze. High kick down the line, no mark taken. Roberts' kick was smothered by Malin, went back to Michael Roberts. Handball to the skipper in Barker, who kicks the centre half forward. No mark taken. At the back, Manning with the soccer off the ground. Cronin's got it. Handball to Manning. Can they kick another one here? Falls over in the glue pot. Dogs defending grimly. Hawkins a little fumble in front of by Fashini, but he got a free kick, the superstar winger. And Hawkins will take it at centre half back.
You know, good teams don't want to lose. The Bulldogs are having a red-hot crack here. Hawkins leading the charge, gets it to Michael Ford. His kick bounces awkwardly for Andy Bennett. To John Bennett. It's the Bennetts. They're not related, but they do interact well there. Andy Bennett knocks it further afield. Jim Edmund quiet in the second half. Narkle outmuscles Edmund. That just shows where St Kilda's head is at. And it's Edmund and Narkle to get up with Narkle. A physical contest wins it. The ball just for the centre for these Bulldogs. They're second on the ladder. They shouldn't be losing to the Saints. Knock forward, Cunningham. Roberts, the left foot. Does it find a target? It's deep. The man he was after was Manning. He's pushed out of the way, but Lockett powerfully rose. Picked up by Fashini. Misses what he could have got, Bruce. A point to the Saints. It gives them a 3-point buffer. We're 22 minutes into the final quarter of a very unexpected tight game on Moorabbin.
A very unexpected, entertaining game. The Bulldogs in control for the bulk of the afternoon, but they find themselves behind deep into the final term. Michael Ford with the kick in. Buckley in front. He's competed all day. He's finally held on to a mark. Now, is he within range? He has an awkward, yet sometimes effective left foot kicking technique, and he's in a decent part of the turf with St Kilda leading by 3 points.
Airmail it, put it up with the breeze and see what happens.
Mark Buckley, the former Blue, short approach, gathers momentum, high drop punt. He's done what you asked, Finey. It's long, it's strong, it's through! And St Kilda lead by 9 points. They're jumping around on the terraces.
Look at that.
The grandstand is rocking. St Kilda with 6 goals to 1. Lead the fancy Bulldogs 11-9, 75 to 8-18, 66. And this place is absolutely rocking.
You know, I remember Bob Skilton saying in a lamentable year one year for the Swans for South Melbourne, they only won 1 game. He said, if you can't win the flag, just win 1, because it's like winning a flag. Well, St Kilda had won 2 against Fitzroy, but none at home. And the Saints supporters are jubilant. Back in the centre. It's 9 points the difference. All of a sudden, the pressure on the Doggies. A free kick being found there to Stevie Wallace. He's been thrown into the contest now. Not going to play loose off the back line. They need him where the action is, right in the middle. Not a bad kick, but it's repelled beautifully. Look at that, Cunningham to Roberts. The left foot puts St Kilda into attack, and it hits the target. Morwood, St Kilda, they look like the team heading into the finals. Sort of. 1 point, well offline by the former Swan. I wonder what the future holds for that man.
Yeah, what a famous family, the Morwood family. A miss there from Paul Morwood. Extends the lead now though to 10 points. Can the Bulldogs find 2 goals into the breeze? Ford with the long kick in the Hawkins direction. Manning went shoulder to shoulder with him, almost took the mark in fact. Morwood forced it forward, Mace couldn't control it. Players starting to cramp. Paul Morwood there in the foreground. And Hawkins seems to be having an issue with his wrist or lower arm. Right half forward for the Saints. They lead it by 10 points, 76 to 66, almost 25 minutes into the last.
Have a look at that! Buckley grabbed it out of the rack. Oh, geez, now it's St Kilda spraying and missing. Oh, I'll tell you what, if they don't win, they'll look back at this 5 minutes as an opportunity missed with Odgers and Morwood spraying chances. Now, Michael Ford. He's going to have to go down the guts. I know it's not going to make it to the centre because of the wind, but they've got to go route 1. And route 1 is cut off by one Gary Odgers. I tell you what, he's close the best on ground, this fella. And is this a bit of time wasting? Experience by Odgers. all of a sudden, he needs to do his boot up, his laces. It is time on. It's not soccer, mate. It's all time on, so it doesn't really matter. But it gives him a time, it gives him an opportunity to gather his thoughts.
Now, he's a good kick of the torpedo punt, Gary. Do you reckon he might have a chance at it?
Look, the one thing with St Kilda 11 points up, a point would be handy in a way. So cover the ground, Gary, and see what happens. He does sink the torp! He does sink the torp! It goes, and it's a goal! Saints are going to win this, Bruce! We are 25 minutes, we're in time on, and the second place doggies, they're going to have to lift their wings at Moorabbin unless something extraordinary happens.
Not quite as long as Jeff Ferring 4 years ago, but that was a monster torpedo. Is that the icing on the cake of an amazing comeback? 7 goals to 1 in the final quarter. St Kilda have come from the clouds and they lead by 17 points. Surely there's only a couple of minutes to go.
Bruce, 14,500 thereabouts at this game. You sort of asked why so many Saints fans there. I guess, like a punter, they thought they might come up trumps eventually, and I think they will.
So from the restart, there's no clean clearance for the Bulldogs, who are staring down the barrel of a loss on the eve of the finals. They'll still be in a qualifying final next week, but it is a blow to their confidence. Andy Bennett again fine. He takes it straight out of the ruck, kicks to left half forward, thrown him with a speculative handball over his head, only as far as McPherson, who handballs to Malin. They need to be very good.
Oh, he's straight in there.
Jallant runs straight into Narkle and drops the football, and it's another St Kilda free kick.
I don't want to be hard on Andy Bennett, but he should retire after this game because he can show his kids 1 quarter of football and say, you know what? That was me and my league career. A championship last quarter. He's annihilated Purser. Narkle, the big kick. Well defended by Kennedy, and Malin, he can hold his head up high. Boy, if they played like him in the last quarter, they would not be behind. McLean keeps the ball in, but when Cunningham's there, it's not going to be easy passage. In fact, he didn't keep it in, Bruce. Out on the full, and St Kilda going to attack again.
Cunningham centering ball to his great mate Greg Burns, and the man from Snake Valley has got it in the centre of Moorabbin. Well, I was going to say take up a bit of time, but no, give it to the man with the hot hand in Andy Bennett. He does that. He kicks to Peart, who drops a mark. He would have taken that with his eyes shut at the start of the game. Players crash in left, right and centre, and eventually the umpire says, I will have it. And he'll throw it up at the wrong end for the Dogs, 25 out from the St Kilda goal.
I reckon somebody at half-time said to Neil Peart, can you keep it going, mate? You're going brilliant. And they put the mockers on him. Unfortunately, he hasn't. Rocket the head out. Finds its way. That could be a Bulldogs free kick. I think Bahaja was the man impeded. And little tiny Bahaja. He's a goer, but he's at the wrong end of the ground. They wanted him kicking for goal, not deep in defence. He'll sink the slipper into it, but little man into the wind, only 25 metres. Have a look who's there. Burns. Get it to Bennett. He can do no wrong. No, he goes the other way. To Morwood. Morwood's handball is dealt like a card to Fashini, who kicks it long. Strong. Is there a finger on it? Is there a finger? You bet there is, goal umpire. 1 point to the Saints.
As Mike Williamson said all those years ago, 28.5 minutes into the final term, and St Kilda by 18 points. Surely they're home now, and surely they're going to avoid that unwanted record of going through a season here at Moorabbin without winning a home game. The long kick in. Hawkins was the target, but he had to take on 2 Saints. One was Manning, the other was Morwood. The latter has the football trapped underneath him. It's a 0-0 draw. Valuable seconds come off the clock again, and we will have a throw up. So the Bulldogs, leading by 21 points at the final change, have been run over the top of by St Kilda, who have been stunning in adding 7 goals to 1. Royal with the clearing kick, down to centre wing and Jobling with safe hands takes the mark in front of Jimmy Sue.
There'll be no denying St Kilda and their fans this afternoon. They will take happy memories into the off-season. The ball picked up by Wallace. For the Dogs, they've got bigger fish to fry next week, and they'll have to fry them a lot better than they've done this afternoon. Good play by Saul, but the handball poor, and Jobling growing in confidence. He wishes the season was starting, kicks it out to centre wing where the ball runs. I've got an idea, Bruce. You know, St Kilda 3 wing spins in a row. I reckon, wouldn't it be a good idea if the team that finished last...
Sorry,
it's over! It's over!
It's over!
It is over! I thought the team that finishes last should get the first pick of all the young talent in the country.
Not a bad idea. 18-point victory to the Saints, being mobbed by their delirious fans.
Wow.
They're charging off. What a night it'll be in the Social Club tonight. St Kilda 12-12-84. Footscray 8-18-66. They bet it over a few more kegs, Finey.
Wow.
Been a famous victory.
Have a look at Moore with a great game. He'll be important next season. Andy Bennett, he's got a great springboard to next season as well. Michael Roberts coming off the ground. He's a saint for life. Have a look at him. He'll be looking forward to 86 in the red, white and black. Wow, maybe some optimism for St.Kilda.
And the song is being belted out. St.Kilda 12-84 to 8-18-66. And the star, Gary Hodges, with a huge goal there. He kicked 3, Tony Lockett kicked 4. What a win by the mighty Saints. 12-84 to 8-18-66. And the fans gathering in the front of the race, singing the song again. Magnificent scenes here at Linton Street after another barren year for the red, white and black.
It was a couple of nervous police horses circling. Have a look at the Saints fans. Wow. They are ecstatic. I tell you, your best, just quickly, for the Saints this afternoon.
Oh, Gary Hodges best on ground for mine.
Hardy, another great game. And I'll tell you what, credit where credit's due. Andy Bennett impressive in the last quarter, but the real future, Tony Lockett, 4 for the Saints out of 12.